just to preface, uh, refrain from like I'm okay if you guys swear once in a while, but just like Matthias, I'm saying this to you. No, I'm kidding. Not to you. I'm
It's
not targeting you.
100% me.
Just like don't just drop F-bombs constantly because
That's fair.
my family now that I'm officially like a teacher now, like I got like my own classroom as like I'm a preschool teacher. My family was like fear mongering me, being like, Joe, the parents are gonna come after you, so like you need to purge your YouTube account. And I'm like, I'm not gonna purge everything, but
Right.
I am gonna unlist some stuff just
Me?
to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like going forward. I'm just gonna make sure
Right.
like we
That's
keep
completely
things
understandable.
at least PG-13.
Oh
Understood.
yeah,
If
That
that's
means no
completely
more than
fine.
yeah,
2.
if we slip once in a while, it's okay. But
Yeah.
this is why I don't have miles on things anymore, because the last time we did this, it was the 6-7 joke led to something else that I don't want
Oh,
to
I
mention now.
remember that. I have that
I'm
clip
kidding.
on my phone.
Miles and I'm joking, by the way. I love Miles, and
Oh
we're still
yeah.
on very good terms. But I, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
completely understand. And I'm glad you brought that up because I've been trying to be more conscious about that with making some of my videos. I even noticed like every now and then I'll rewatch one of my older videos and I'll just hear a swear word or one of my swears where I stop and just kind of go like, that was wow, that was really forced for me. Like that wasn't even
Yeah.
I could see how I found it funny at the time, but that just does not hold up.
I just don't like doing it. I usually, if it needs to be like a comedic punchline, I will do
Yes.
it by it'll be censored. But I usually don't like swearing it because like swearing just because it comes off very not unprofessional, but it comes off as very
Right.
like immature.
Yeah,
And this is just for me. I'm not saying everyone who swears is immature, but like
absolutely.
Well,
when
I
I
swear
do
and
it,
I
yeah.
am immature.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right. We're gonna start now. Nick will probably come in. He just said his Wi-Fi is on the fritz, which is okay. But
Okay.
we're gonna start now. So, to everyone watching, hello. I am joined by two of my three guests right now. One more person will be coming in later. We got Matias. How you doing,
Hello.
Matias?
I'm doing spectacular. I'm filming from an awesome basement, and I'm in hiding right now. The government's after me.
What? Okay.
No, I'm just
All right.
between
So,
apartments.
if your internet cuts out, Matthias, I know that it's probably something
Yeah,
bad.
it's really brave of me to put my face on a live stream when the government is chasing me.
And I've also joined by Kevin, aka
Uh-oh.
Elephant Power Productions. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, you know. Had a slow editing day, but I saw this was happening and was like, you know what? Sure. It's so funny. I literally right as I saw your post advertising it on Instagram, I was literally reconsidering because I want to do believe it or not an MCU video in December this year. So I was
Ooh.
actually reconsidering like, wait a minute, do I do this script that I've been sitting on for a while that I like, but would be a longer video and take more time? Or do I do something that's still a meaty discussion, but shorter and a bit more broad instead of on one movie like the other script is? I actually have a poll on my channel community posts about that. But so this is like literally perfect timing for me. The MCU is fresh on my brain. I've been thinking about the Multiverse Saga. And now I rushed over and got a change. I got the Brave New World baseball shirt. So
Matthias and I watched that on Discord the other day.
We did.
I actually
changed
showed my
rating.
friend. I actually showed one of my friends the movie on Discord on 4th of July, and he did not like it. So that was
I
fun.
actually met Isaiah Bradley's actor like last week.
Really? You met Carl Lumley?
He's so sweet. He's so my girlfriend and I met him. She was actually talking to him, and then like I went over and I'm like, "What's up?" And because we just got off Warwick Davis's line, it was a horror convention.
Nice.
And Lumley was there because he played Halloran in Doctor Sleep, so that's his horror connection.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and we were going off, and then he was wearing this really cool, like he almost looked like a preacher. Like he had this really cool, like sewed like purple like blade. It looked really cool. And Megan was dressed up as Lydia from Beetlejuice. I was just Beetlejuice. And Megan was like, "Oh, I like your shirt." And no one was online for him at that moment. And he was like, "Oh, thank you." and he's like, it's actually probably older than you. Just looking at you right now. And he's like, and she's like, where? She's like, when did you get it? He's like, I got it in the 70s. And she's like, oh, it's definitely older than me. But he was very, and I said, I like you as Isaiah Bradley. I love that character. And he's like, I love him too. He
That's
was
awesome.
he was a very sweet man, and I don't love Brave New World, but I like the character of Isaiah. I think Isaiah is
Yeah.
a very wholesome character. Every scene with him, I was like on board. The scene where he got arrested, I genuinely was heartbroken for him because
Yeah.
he was like, don't mess up my suit, and I'm like, no, my
Yeah.
poor boy. That was like
That's
he was my favorite character in that movie,
for
but
sure.
I'm not unfair, okay?
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not cynical, I promise. But
Dude, it's so funny you mentioned like meeting MCU actors. I tried to meet one earlier this year at Fan Expo Denver. Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage, was in my area, and I
ooh,
wanted to meet him so bad. But then we realized, oh, it was cash only for his booth, and I was like,
oh,
how much is his autograph? And it was like, or a selfie or whatever, and it was like $60 to $80, and everybody with me was like, oh, we don't exactly have that on us at the moment.
woof.
So missed out, unfortunately. But I did see him, and he was very shiny head, I must say. Like his head was
Oh, he
so
does, yeah.
reflective.
That's why they cast him.
I've met one MCU actor in my whole life. Like I've met so many Star Wars actors. I've only met Wilson Bethel as Bullseye. Very well.
Oh, nice.
Also,
And
also,
Isaiah Bradley now.
not counting. Yeah, also Isaiah. But like, I don't like Isaiah. Like Carl, I didn't pay money. We just talked with him
Yeah.
because he just wanted to chat, and
Yeah.
I took it because I was like, I like him.
As a bonus, as a consultation, I guess I did actually get to meet Matthew Wood because he was also at the con, and obviously I mainly went there for Grievous, but I forgot he was also Herbie. So I was able to say like, oh, that's so cool because my brother fucking loves the Fantastic Four first steps. He got like the Herbie popcorn bucket opening night, so that was fun.
I love Herbie. I actually, when you
Yes.
said Matthew Lillard was in the MCU, I didn't go to Herbie. I went to that he played the Kang troopers in Quantumania.
Oh,
I love
I
Herbie.
said Matthew Wood, right? Not Matthew
Yeah,
Lillard.
you
right?
did say
Okay.
Matthew Wood. Joe said Matthew Lillard.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a sec.
I'm stupid. Okay, we're gonna start now. I'm so sorry. So, wait, where's the? I'm going between tabs right now. Okay, so
Okay.
this is my MCU PowerPoint presentation. First off, identifying the problem with the Multiverse Saga. I forgot I put
Impact on
oversaturation.
transition animation.
Yeah, oversaturation and no direction in the current MCU. So, obviously, the issue with, I think, especially in Phase 4, is way too many projects. I think Phase 1 had, not Phase 1, the first year in Phase 4 in 2021 had 9 different projects between shows and movies, which I think anyone can say is way too much stuff. I think every month of the year in 2021, we had at least something, like a TV episode or a movie. And I think that is ridiculous. But also, no direction. I think, obviously, my biggest issue with the Multiverse Saga is not that things are bad, because there are good things in the Multiverse Saga. I love the Spider-Man movies, loved Guardians 3. Biggest issue is a lot of the things are superfluous. Like, let's be real. Going into Doomsday, most of the projects are not going to be relevant. And I think that is
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. But yeah. So
This is beautiful.
I forgot
That's a good trick.
I forgot I put this in. So I already talked about this. All right. My ground rules. Only 3 projects a year. That is the cap.
Okay.
Nothing else. Also, 2 movies at most and 1 show. And give each phase a clear function. So, that was my goal.
Makes sense.
Phase 4. This is our first phase of the Multiverse Saga, which ironically is going to have the least to do with the multiverse, but I want to mainly focus Phase 4 on simply the aftermath of Avengers Endgame of the Infinity Saga. So, we
Right.
are first going to establish Sam Wilson's new Avengers and acknowledge the heroes that are no longer available to participate in the Avengers. So,
Right.
I feel like my past self is trolling me right now. So, 2021 gave us 4 movies and 5 goddamn shows. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Eternals, What If, Loki, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, WandaVision, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. I think maybe 2.5 of these things are actually good. Actually 3. So, what I decided is Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be
Okay.
converted into a movie. I think that my biggest issue with most of the MCU shows is that they very clearly are not meant to be TV shows. They were movies that were just stretched out into 6-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I will say the only MCU show, at least on this on this list right now, that warranted being a TV show is WandaVision, because the whole
Right.
point of WandaVision is that it is parodying sitcoms. The concept of WandaVision would not work as a movie. So that gets to be that gets to be a TV show. And
Makes
I
sense.
think and then obviously Shang-Chi. So all 3 of these projects, I think, on their own do not need any modifications when it comes to fixing the plot. I think WandaVision is a pretty tight story. Shang-Chi is as basic as it gets, and that works because it's a superhero origin. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it's a movie, you would have to trim some stuff down. If it were me, personally, if it were up to me, I would remove everything with the Flag Smashers and have the main villain be Baron Zemo. And then John Walker is a sleeper antagonist. And the finale of the movie would not be a big battle between Sam Wilson and terrorists. It would simply be the final warehouse fight between Walker, Bucky, and Sam. Just the culmination of these 2 characters finally uniting and becoming allies and taking the shield back, the symbol of their friendship, from John Walker. And then the epilogue can just be that final scene with Zemo and Bucky, and then him being arrested by the Wakandans. That is the plot.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I'm also going to make one selfish addition. So,
all right,
when we go here, I did remove a lot of things. So, you may notice that Eternals is not on here, What If is not on here,
right.
Hawkeye is not on here, nor is Black Widow. So 4 of these I am completely removing. I think that just because something is removed, it does not mean it's bad. I just think it does not have a place right now in the current vision.
Right. That makes sense.
Think, yeah, like Eternals, I don't like Eternals, but just because Eternals is being removed does not mean an Eternal story can't work. It just, for now, that should be put on the back burner.
Yeah, and I can speak as well in terms of, I like that idea for sure of, in regards to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Eternals especially, keep in mind, I like both these projects. I rewatched Falcon and the Winter Soldier this year for the 5th anniversary with my friend, and we both, I'm glad you mentioned the Flag Smasher part, because me and my friend, we made our whole video about this. We both agree most of the show is like really enjoyable or works for what it's going for. But the Flag Smasher, the problem with the Flag Smashers is that the show kind of wants it both ways, where they want them to be these simple, terrorist characters in masks that the heroes can punch, but they're tied to this super complex, nuanced topic related to like mass relocation and deportation.
And they're like refugees.
Yeah, refugees, mass displacement. And while I like the idea in theory of a Captain America project having a conflict where they can't just punch their way out of it, like it's a bigger, wider issue where nobody is 100% right, I think that's great in theory. The problem is Falcon and the Winter Soldier still wants the hero-villain dynamic. So while I think the nuance works with John Walker, and I like what it does with its runtime on the show, I think the Flag Smashers, they just got a little bit too lost in the sauce of trying to make them nuanced. And frankly, it feels almost, while I like John Walker not just being a pure evil guy, I understand completely your decision to make him a sleeper antagonist and that be the final focal point of Sam proving why he's better than him, because the Flag Smashers really do just overcomplicate things. I don't have an issue with exploring the blip, but when you do it
Oh,
this
yeah.
way, it's just too messy. And sorry, back to the main point I was trying to make. I was just thinking about with Eternals, especially, it feels like they really should have been switched. Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier features characters we know, people already know they like. People like
Yeah.
Sam Wilson, people like Bucky Barnes, people like Helmut Zemo. For better or worse, a lot of people really like John Walker as well. Those are characters that are proven likable and popular. And I love John Walker too, just not for some of the reasons other people do.
Oh, yeah.
And I bring this up with Eternals because these are characters where, like, for frame of reference, when that movie was announced, even the comic fans were like, wait, who? Oh, yeah, those Jack Kirby cosmic characters. I think I read stuff. So it really is weird in hindsight. Like, why would you have this risky, weird adaptation choice filled with this massive ensemble cast be only a, granted, 2.5 hour, but still limited in runtime movie versus nearly 6 hours of television where you can really dive into them, expand upon their world building. And mind you, I don't need every question some people have asked answered. I don't agree with some of the criticisms of like, why weren't they at this event in the MCU? Because if you look at where they were in the story, there are some, so like if somebody asks like, why weren't they there for Age of Ultron? Like, would anybody even know what the fuck is going on at that point? All they really
that would have been so funny.
Age of Ultron happened so quickly too. I feel like I don't know.
No one knew what was going on during Age of Ultron except for the Avengers. Like, it would,
So I think and mind you, again, I love that movie and I love what Chloe Zhao tried with it, but I do agree that I also think the Multiverse Saga, part of the problem with some of these projects at first is that naming convention of it being the Multiverse Saga, because that implies, a lot of these stories are in some way either going to hook up to the multiverse as a concept, or at the very least, legacy characters and variants. Like Sam Wilson, while not a variant of Cap the way there are multiverse variants, is another iteration of the character, the same way other variants would be. And comic adaptation-wise, if the point is to build up to Secret Wars, Sam became Cap right before the Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out Secret Wars stuff. So it makes sense on that level adaptation-wise. And so with the Multiverse Saga, I think it was a mistake to have one of their first big movies be a bunch of cosmic characters that we are never going to see again. And I don't think that was entirely Marvel's fault. I think they wanted the Eternals to be big, but it just didn't work out. So when it doesn't work out, it's like, well, what the fuck do we do with them? Sorry. I know I shouldn't swear much, but
how dare you?
Like, but so okay, I'll try to make that my one F-bomb. But like,
no, you're good. You're good. Everybody
gets one. What the hell are we gonna do with these guys? Like, where do they go? Plus, and even then, as like an Eternals fan, I'm like, I don't see an easy place to put these guys. Like maybe a Thor film or a Captain Marvel film. I think it would have been interesting to maybe check up on them during Love and Thunder and see their relation to the omnipotent city gods. But that's about it. I don't see any other easy place for these characters to come. And I think Marvel doesn't either. So that makes sense why, we've only really heard Kingo get mentioned in like, he's in a Bollywood film Miss Marvel launched. And that's fine, but it's like,
I genuinely didn't even know that. Okay.
I forgot. He's also in a What If episode, and I think he's the only, if I'm not mistaken, he's the only Eternal that shows up in What If.
He's also, Icarus is also in Zombies.
I know Icarus is in Zombies, but
it's
like,
honestly,
these characters,
it pisses me off too, because What If should be the perfect place to see them again. Like, what if they did interfere with some of these conflicts, or
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Even the What If episode, what if the Emergence destroyed the Earth? It doesn't have any Eternals in it. It's about Ironheart fighting Mysterio after he takes over the world. And I've seen that episode. I like it, but it's like, why? Of course, the one thing tied to the Eternals' biggest contribution to the MCU world building doesn't have anything to do with them in the What If episode.
I mean,
sorry,
that's
continue.
Actually so funny.
Eternals is gone. Hawkeye is gone. Again, I love Kate Bishop. However, I think everything with the Young Avengers should be saved for its own dedicated subplot. I just think for now there's too much going on and it's not appropriate to include them right now. And you may say, but Joe, Haley Steinfeld is perfect for Kate Bishop. And by the time you actually get to a good opportunity to include her, she's going to be too old. And I'll say, you know what? I agree with that. But guess what? They're already doing nothing with her now. And Haley Steinfeld is already aging.
Yeah.
Gracefully, mind you. Shamik Moore
What?
just possessed my body right there. But yeah, but you know, yeah, we are I would be missing out on good storytelling potential because Haley Steinfeld is getting older and she is not equipped to play a young Avenger. But Marvel is doing the same thing. They're still
Right.
missing out on opportunity. Yeah. So yeah. So then you get to Black Widow, and this is the origin for Yelena, and I love Yelena. She is one of my favorite characters in the MCU, but that's her origin. So if you get rid of that, it doesn't make much sense. So I'm making the very selfish decision to just squeeze her into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She is essentially going to be the one to break Zemo out of prison. She is Zemo's best bud, and she's just going to be there. That's it. And that'll
Honestly,
be.
I love it. I love
Hi,
both
Nick.
those characters.
Greetings.
Hello.
This is Nick D4C. So Nick, this is our current reconstruction of at least 2021 for now. We have turned Falcon into a movie. We have Shang-Chi and WandaVision. So I think right now, pretty solid comeback from the pandemic. I think nothing stands out as amazing, but we got people hooked. We got one cool new superhero. We got Sam as Cap, and then WandaVision, which people liked.
Yep.
So, right now, I think solid start to the MCU, at least to the new phase of the MCU. So, now we go to 2022. So, you may notice that Spider-Man No Way Home was not on 2021's catalog. That I just pushed back because we already had too much going on in 2021. So
we get a multiverse movie.
That'll be in July of 2022.
Okay.
Also, yeah, Wakanda. I almost said Wakanda No Way Forever. I melded Spider-Man with Black Panther. Black Panther, literally no changes. November 2022. I think that movie handles the legacy of Chadwick Boseman pretty well. I have literally notes for that film, aside from maybe decreasing token white guy's screen time.
Not General Everett Ross. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
Bilbo Baggins.
I almost said Bilbo Baggins, but yeah, I think that's my one issue with that movie is just using that character a bit too much. But yeah,
I have to ask, since you mentioned Wakanda Forever in relation to the supporting cast, where does that leave Ironheart then in all this?
I never really thought about that. Ironheart Ironheart is very important to the plot of the movie. I can't just remove her. So she gets to stay as Ironheart. Okay. I'm sure later down the line when we get to some street level stuff I'll mention, I'm sure you can include her somewhere. But
I also have to say, selfishly, if I could, and this would just, I don't even know where this would fit in your plan, but if I had if I was in charge of Marvel and stuff and I saw the projects being developed around the time, selfishly, a part of me would be like, well, okay, let's see. Wakanda Forever, while Riri does have some stuff going on that fits in to the movie, some of the stuff that I think that they could have expanded upon with her character doesn't feel like it's there. Like Riri in the comics and the show, she loses her father and her best friend to a random horrific shootout. And the movie doesn't really focus much on Riri's grief in this film about grief, which makes sense why. It's just, oh yeah, maybe if they had a little bit less going on or a little more time, that could have been something just a little extra juicy. Again, not a necessity, just trying to think of the reasons why she couldn't be cut from the film. Honestly, kind of selfishly, a part of my brain wants to go, because at the time Wakanda Forever was being made, so November 2022 release, only a few months after Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the cartoon, came out. And I know that's not in the MCU, but thank you, it is peak. And I know that's not in the MCU, but if Riri has no clear place in the future, I think swapping her with Lunella could be kind of a similar plot, because now because Lunella is also super smart, hyper intelligent young black girl from a city, in this case New York, not Chicago, And while obviously part of the draw of her character is that she ends up teaming up with Devil Dinosaur to protect the LES, that I don't really see a place in this, even in this reconstruction of like, well, where could you just throw in her and Devil? So honestly, it'd be kind of cool if retroactively, if Lunella was included in Wakanda Forever, we don't see, she doesn't become Moon Girl. We don't see her again in the MCU much, but that's okay because on the sidelines, we have a Disney TV show that retroactively is like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, where it's
interesting.
It's MCU multiverse canon technically, but it's not the exact same universe. So you could headcanon it as like, oh, this is what Lunella is up to while the rest of the multiverse saga is going on. She becomes Moon Girl and teams up with Devil Dinosaur to, I mean, granted, you know, there's probably some continuity stuff that would get messed up. That Moon Girl does some multiverse things for character focus, not world building stuff. But it's still a funny idea in my head. And Moon Girl has characters that are literally just the MCU designs as cameos.
They do.
They have Sam Wilson cameo as Captain America. At
Maria
least
Hill.
Does Anthony Mackie play him?
He doesn't have any lines, but he's clearly designed after Anthony Mackie.
Right.
Maria Hill is played by Kobe Smulders, though.
Yes, and Nick Fury is in the show at the very end, and he's played by Samuel Jackson. So they clearly take inspiration from the MCU. They're just
Lawrence
not allowed
Fishburne
to
as well.
be
Lawrence
directly
Fishburne plays his character.
Lawrence
Lawrence Fishburne has
Fishburne.
two
Watch
roles
that
actually.
now.
He plays his role from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he plays the Beyonder as well.
Yes, that is the only thing. I think the Beyonder would complicate things. He's the one thing where it's like, okay, that might need to make the cartoon MCU canon, because Beyonder is literally the reason Secret Wars happens to begin with in the comics. But it's just a thought experiment. Doesn't have to be your idea, like incorporated in your thing. I just figured that was kind of an interesting idea. Like, oh, what if that was the case? Because
I think that's awesome. And I'm selfish too. I would love it if Lunella showed up somewhere.
It would have been nice to have some brand synergy just to give Moon Girl some more fucking attention, because people like it, but it's kind of got the same thing as Infinity Train, where nowadays when you bring it up, it's like the first thing we have to do when talking about the show is, first off, my condolences for being canceled. I'm like,
you have to lament that it's over.
Like, yes, I know. Can we talk about the amazing animation and main characters development now, please?
Interrupting. I have a question.
No, it's okay. Actually. What's up, Matias?
Is the ride at Disneyland on Avengers Campus, is that canon to the MCU?
I don't know.
Because Lunella is a part of that ride. She's part of the ride.
Oh, I know what you're referring to. There is a Spider-Man interactive ride at Disney California Adventure. I went there in 2023 when I went on a trip with my family. And in the queue, you can actually see, it's like they have world building elements of like, oh, this is a Stark future young generation thing that Peter Parker sets up. And you see cameos from like actor stand-ins for Doreen Green, aka Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
I believe there's one other character in there. I know Lunella's in there as well as like this little girl, but I swear there was like another kid or a Wakandan kid there too. I swear there were 3 other kids interacting with Tom Holland.
I think there are 3 kids. I don't remember who the third one is, but
okay.
I do remember that they're all cameos. I looked it up when I was there, but this was years ago.
Okay, well, yeah.
Anyways, maybe if the ride is canon, then Lunella's in the MCU.
Yeah, gotcha. Disney parks are changing all the time. They can fix it if they want.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could have gotten Darla's actor from Shazam at the time. That would have been perfect. I mean, because she would have been filming Fury of the Gods, but it's Fury of the Gods. DC was delaying shit anyway. Who cares?
Okay, so then Guardian Special, that's the same. I have no issues with that. So then that leads to basically everything else that I'm removing. She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel, again, I like those characters, but for now they don't have a place in the current slate of the MCU, and we're probably never going to see She-Hulk again.
Makes sense, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rip Tatiana. But and then Werewolf by Night, which I actually literally just watched a month ago. I like it, but I think if they wanted to do like a Midnight Suns project, they should probably save it for like if they want to do a Moon Knight and Blade movie, because I think this was very clearly going to set up a Midnight Suns project where Moon Knight comes back and they eventually bring in Blade, possibly
Right.
Doctor Strange and the Man Thing, but
I feel like Strange
and
would have been involved in the Midnight Suns. Yeah.
yeah, and then who else? And also Elsa, but unfortunately that didn't happen because Oscar Isaac looks like he's not interested in returning to the MCU, which is unfortunate. And
Yeah,
also,
and then of course Blade took fucking forever, and they just gave up for whatever reason.
yeah. And then Doctor Strange is right now just a current question mark in his place in the MCU. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that character. I love Steven. Yeah.
I agree. It's so frustrating because I love Doctor Strange and I want to see more of this character, but I completely understand not doing his movie, at least not yet, because like with Multiverse of Madness, I honestly think some of that movie kind of shot itself in the foot by, I'm not going to say it marketed itself on all its cameos, but I do think that a lot of people had this expectation going in that this was not going to be what it ended up being, which was a character-focused film about Steven, his happiness, and Wanda and her issues. But instead, like, they thought it was going to be this House of M level, this is going to bring in the X-Men and all this multiverse shit kind of film. And I think those expectations kind of shot the movie in the back. It made money, but it definitely wasn't as well received as the others. And I mean,
I think it should have just been called Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
I think the subtitle is kind of what.
Yes. I like their flowery names, but when you put a flowery name on a movie that doesn't meet that expectation, I don't know. Like,
I just dislike subtitles personally. I just think calling something the name and then 2, subtitle. Yeah.
That's why you hate every Star Wars movie.
No.
Star Wars 2.
I'm okay with it when there's multiple incarnations of a character, like Spider-Man. That makes sense to say No Way Home, Brand New Day.
Right.
Or have multiple X-Men movies, which I think is probably why the upcoming X-Men movie in 2028 is going to have a subtitle we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
But
that's why Fantastic Four has First Steps, because they don't want it to share Google results with 2 other movies.
Yeah, that's also something I'm good
I don't
with.
think anyone wants to share Google results with a certain 2015 film.
Well, to be fair, that one was Fant4stick.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, it damned itself to have its own Google result.
So, Moon Knight and Doctor Strange we're putting a pin in. Thor Love and Thunder, we are fully getting rid of, but we are going to see Thor very, very soon. And by that, I mean literally right after 2022. So, 2023 is when we finally get the Loki show, which I have no reason to delay other than I wanted to keep it to one show a year. So 2021 was WandaVision, 2022 was the Guardians holiday special technically. But
So half of the goal is avoiding fatigue, right?
Yeah, that's literally, that's like something I want to balance. It really delaying something doesn't really mean it's bad or I have wanted to change something. It's just pushing it back.
Yeah.
So Loki, literally no changes. I don't have any issues with Loki, aside from like some pacing issues, but I'm mainly talking about the narrative. And then this is funnily enough, if this timeline I have created is is congruent with our timeline.
Oh yeah.
The Loki show would be released around the time Jonathan Majors decides to do an IRL oopsie. So this would probably be the first and last time we see this character. But in my version, the Marvel decides to grow some balls and actually recast the character instead of fully get rid of them, or do something sneaky where, since this is so early on in Kang's introduction, they can just get rid of He Who Remains and say, we're actually just going to use Immortus or the Scarlet Centurion,
or Ramatut, or any of the other variants. He's got like to quote Comic Drake in his video on Kang, there is a metric fuck ton of that. The one F-bomb, my mistake.
No, it's okay.
Hey, I'll lend you mine. I haven't spent mine yet, so you can have my F-bomb.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
And Yeah, then so Loki's the same. And then Guardians 3 is also basically the same movie with the sneaky inclusion of Thor, but just a little bit of Thor. I know James Gunn said the reason Thor was written out in Love and Thunder to make sure he wasn't in Guardians 3 was because he simply did not want to use Thor and he didn't want to deal with that. But I'm over here saying, James, you are working in the MCU. You kind of have to work with what you got. And I get that that was a sneaky way of basically telling the Russos he hates them because they made retcons
Right.
to the Guardians movies by being like, "Oh, Peter has the Star-Lord mask again, even though it technically broke in Guardians 2."
And we're going to kill Gamora, and that means we have to invent this. And I think they recovered from that gracefully, but still, it's...
James did a really good job working with Gamora, but it's very clear that he was not happy, and also I think that's why in the Guardians holiday special he gave Rocket Bucky's arm, and then they in Thunderbolts that he just has it back again. I think that was Marvel's way of being like, "Oh, James, what'd you do? We weren't supposed to use. How are we supposed to explain that? How Nebula got that?" And they're
That's
like,
so
he's
funny.
like, figure it out, man. Retcon it.
Yeah.
I'm tapping out in a year anyway. I'm gonna go to DC. You can figure it out. But basically what I would do to have Thor in this movie is essentially just have him in the opening with Adam Warlock. Thor gets the shit beaten out of him. He gets severely injured. He has to stay behind with Kraglin. He is not on the current adventure. And then if you need him in the movie a little bit, he can be helping out defend Nowhere from the Hellspawn, which I think is what the High Evolutionary called them. And then at the end, when the Guardians break up, just say that Thor wanted to go back to Earth because he thought that this was his little rebound adventure and he thought he wanted to be a Guardian, but in reality, he wanted to be an Avenger. And that leads us into our first original project I made, the fifth Avengers movie in 2023, Avengers, what I like to call World War Kree, which Matias helps me with that title. So this is our first Avengers film back, with the lineup being Sam Wilson as Captain America, Thor, Ant-Man, Shuri, Shang-Chi, and Doctor Strange. Every single one of these characters was at least included once in a project in Phase 4, excluding Ant-Man, but we already know Ant-Man, so it's fine. And this is essentially substitution for the Marvels, resolving the Kree plot line. What I am not here to rewrite the Marvels or say what the plot of this Avengers movie would be. That could be a fun little side project for us later down the line. But I would imagine that essentially Captain Marvel and Nick Fury are helping out the Skrulls relocate, but they're attacked by the Kree and the Supreme Intelligence, so Captain Marvel reaches out to the Avengers for help, and then they have to go to the Kree homeworld to fight the Supreme Intelligence, and it's the 6 Avengers. Sam is leading the charge, and he's helping fight the Supreme Intelligence, and then that is the 4th movie. So, the 5th Avengers movie.
I'm glad Carol is still here because I say this as somebody who used to be on the Brie Larson hate train. It's a whole long dumbass story. It's moving out of state and being in an emotional state of anger, frustration, and unsurety about your life. It sends you down to meet some pretty terrible people on YouTube, or at least follow some bad people. But so I like that Carol is still here. And I like that she does sound important to the plot, at least as an factor. Because I think there was actually, if I remember correctly, there was some concept art or maybe even some convention panel art from right before Phase 4 got started, where it showed the original core trinity for the MCU of Iron Man, Cap, and Thor. And in its place was a hypothetical new trilogy or trinity, which is just so tragic in hindsight. It was supposed to be Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and T'Challa. Obviously, Spider-Man didn't happen because Sony is Sony, and they're always a bitch about rights. T'Challa, of course, not even touching that. I've spoken on it before. But with Carol, I really feel that Marvel I do think, even if I don't dislike the Captain Marvel movie anymore, I do think Carol could have been done better. And while I like what the Marvels tried to do with the character and give her more of a clear arc and character flaw, I do think I do think the movies accidentally they rushed too fast to get her out just because they could, if that makes sense. Because like the reason we didn't get Captain Marvel for a while was because of that sexist piece of shit Ike Perlmutter being in charge of things at Marvel for a while. Like this was a guy like if you don't know who Ike Perlmutter is, garbage person, terrible businessman who did really dumb shit at Marvel. Also racist. Like he is quoted saying nobody would be able to tell the difference between Don Cheadle's War Machine and Terrence Howard as War Machine, which is just not okay.
They look completely different.
And he was keeping female characters at Marvel from getting solo films because in his mind, female characters don't sell toys or don't make enough merch. And so, like, he would try to sabotage.
Right now.
He would try
Did
to
they
sabotage.
Hire Ike Perlmutter?
Yeah, he would try to sabotage Black Widow at certain points. That's why we never got a Black Widow movie for a while. And so,
when did he leave Marvel?
I don't recall, but he at the very least has lost power there.
What's his name again? You said Ike
Perlmutter. Pearl without an A.
Oh, I heard about this guy. He like contributed to a lot of like the issues with the early X-Men movie. Yeah, I know,
Isaac Ike Perlmutter is an Israeli-American billionaire businessman and financier.
That explains a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna state anything specific. I'm just stating facts according to the Wikipedia page.
He's the youngest looking 83-year-old I've ever seen. That's the nicest thing I'm gonna say about him.
He also tried, and this is just the movies we're talking about. In the comics, don't even get me started on that. Like, there's a whole thing where he was so jealous about Fox having the X-Men rights, he tried to phase out mutants overall and replace them with the Inhumans.
That's right.
So if it felt like the Inhumans were blowing up in the 2010s, that's why they were pushing for them. And even characters like Miss Marvel, who the creators wanted to be mutants, were changed to Inhumans in the process. And again, it wasn't all bad. Miss Marvel and Moon Girl are great characters, but still. But I only bring this up because with Captain Marvel, I feel in hindsight, again, I'm sure there's people that really cared about this movie and wanted her to be a great character that everyone loved. But a part of me does kind of feel with how little they've done with Carol over the past few years that they kind of just made the first movie as a show of, like, we can do this now. Like, oh, finally, we can just do this. Let's just make a Captain Marvel movie. This is so dumb. Let's just make one. And they were like, yes, we made one. And it made millions of dollars and it built hype for Endgame. Okay, now what? Shit, we have no plan for Carol, do we? Again, I'm not saying nobody did, but that's just kind of the vibe I get. So point is, I appreciate you keeping Carol around. Regardless of what chuds or certain people think of
what the hell? Who? I think.
What? Nothing funny about 9/11.
What? Oh, come on, man. We just had a conversation about this earlier.
Noah, is that you? If it's not you, I'm kicking you. Noah, is that you?
Resurrected Stanley. CGI resurrected Stanley.
I think I know who that was. I think it was my friend Noah. Yeah, I think he literally joined just to do that, and then okay, like I saw him pop up in the queue, and I said my first thought was it was someone who stole the link, and I'm like, where did I post that by accident? And I went, oh, it's Noah. But all right, so yeah, so Carol will have a focus. This will essentially be the way of giving her an exit to the MCU, but also leaving the door open for Brie Larson to eventually return if she ever needs to. But yeah, I don't hate Carol Danvers. This is why I made this movie, to include her, just so she has a relationship with the Avengers, essentially making her an honorary Avenger. But yeah.
It does kind of suck that a part of me wants to bounce around, if we ever do this, a part of me wants to bounce around villains on top of the Supreme Intelligence, like any Kree characters that could be fun ones. The only one literally coming to my mind is Ronan, but
he's dead.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
they could probably make a cool, like, they could find an obscure, like, Kree or general. You would need Kree, someone like strong enough to fight off 6 Avengers and Captain Marvel. and
Yeah,
also
if I
an
remember
army of
correct,
Skrulls.
there's like a Kree Iron Man villain named Shatterax with like a weird jagged look. That could be kind of fun. I don't know.
Shatterax.
Sword back.
I'm looking this guy up right now. He has a metal sounding name. No, not the coffee shop. I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, he looks cool.
This
Oh,
guy's fire. I like it. He looks like a Kamen Rider
Shatterack.
character.
Shatterack. Huh. Yeah, this guy could work. You know, that could be a cool villain for like a general for the Supreme Intelligence. But
Shatterack's
Yeah, he could at least sell toys. Look cool as a silver bad guy.
this dude
Yeah.
looks like a Kamen Rider character. This is
He
awesome.
does, honestly. Yeah, with the bug eyes.
Yeah. I like this.
Oh.
I like this guy.
all right. So we are now entering phase 5. We have closed the book on phase 4 with an
Okay.
MC with a proper Avengers movie. The new Avengers have been established. So now we are officially entering the multiverse unleashed because we obviously ended phase 4 with an Avengers movie and the Loki show. So the multiverse is officially opened.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal here is to officially focus on the multiverse on a proper development of Kang's Saga. So with 2024, this is when I think Marvel had a clue and realized we need to kind of calm down with our releases. So we got guys, my girlfriend's in the chat right now. Show us the meaning of H. I love this girl so much. I love you, Megan. But yeah. So basically, this is I think when Marvel got a clue and realized we need to calm down with our projects. So we got Echo, which I am still 80% sure was a tax write-off because that had 5 episodes, and the first episode was literally just all reused footage from the Hawkeye show.
Was it really? I didn't watch this
Most
show.
of the Echo show of the first episode was reusing It was all flashbacks, and then it was like there was like a one take of Echo fighting Daredevil, and then Daredevil. That was like most of the trailer too. Was Maya fighting Daredevil?
Either Maya fighting Daredevil or Kingpin, but then it focused more on the hometown stuff. And apparently, a lot of the show was reshot because there's several shots in the trailer that are just completely absent from the final cut. I feel so conflicted on Echo. I watched it once and I
don't remember anything about it. I don't remember anything about it.
I feel bad for this show because I think it could have been interesting. I liked Echo a lot in Hawkeye. And I also feel bad because from everything I've gathered from behind the scenes, they really did earnestly collaborate with the Choctaw Native American Nation to really, like, they literally involved a whole community in like making the show and giving it the proper Native American representation. And unfortunately, a lot of people were just like, no, the Native rep is not enough for me. This show just sucks, which I don't agree with, but yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
I don't hate Maya. I think Maya's a cool character. It's just, it feels like they didn't know what to do with that character. And
it's also really funny because she got a Lego figure in that mystery pack.
She got like a ridiculously cool Lego figure.
Yeah, it's actually a really good Lego figure. But
good.
It's like rated. It's just so funny because the show's rated R, and I don't know why. Because it's like a bloodless show. I don't know why the show is.
I think that was another part of why it fell flat. I think for a lot of people, because one of the trailers literally had like the gritty trailer narrator say like, "Don't miss the most intense Marvel series yet." And when I watched it with my brother, I was like, I think even Iron Fist was more violent than this. Like, it just, and I don't say that as an insult to the show. I just mean like, really? This is more violent than half the shit in a Marvel Netflix series?
There's like one shot where Maya's like stitching up her arm, and it's like you see like her cut, but it's not that.
There's like one shot where a guy gets like shot in the head or something, and you see him like fall back and choke on his blood. I'm like, okay, that was
Doctor Strange 2 was more violent. Like,
that was gruesome, but most intense Marvel series ever. Again, there was a death in Iron Fist season 1 that made me like viscerally uncomfortable and upset and was just really fucked up. and that's Iron Fist, the most hated of these Netflix shows. If it's not even half as intense as that overall, I'm like, who set them up to fail like that? That's just a dick move.
I still find it so funny how, thanks to the Marvel Netflix shows, The Boys, The Ted Show, Terrifier, and also Doctor Who all share a universe. Because Georgia Wiggum, Lauren Lavera, Aaron Moriarty, and David Tennant are all in the Marvel Netflix shows.
Oh, yeah.
They got Netflix money. So I just find that so funny.
Right.
That Art the Clown and the 10th Doctor and Starlight.
Fandom overlap. It's like super Who-lock.
Yeah, I just love that. Because I remember watching, like, the Punisher show, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Blair? That's cool. And then I was watching Iron Fist, and I saw, like, Lauren Lavera was one of the hand people, and I'm like, yo, Sienna Shaw from Terrifier 2? What up, girl? But, no, yeah, I still find that funny. But back to 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine, we're putting a pin in. And Agatha All Along, I still have not watched that show. I heard it's good, but again, just back to the Miss Marvel thing, I don't think it has a place right now. Yeah. And we could visit Agatha later on, but for now, when we need a Young Avengers project, Wiccan will be there.
Weird fact about Agatha, by the way, she actually started as a Fantastic Four character in the comics. Like, she was originally Reed Richards' nanny or magic, like, grandmother, or, like, just babysitter. And then she just kind of evolved from there into what we have now. It's so weird how that works.
That's really funny.
Ooh, maybe we could
maybe a cameo in First Steps or something. I don't know.
Ooh, maybe with the opening. And then we could cut her and be like, yeah, no, none for you, Catherine Hahn or John Malkovich.
Right. It's like what they did with who was it they got to play Red Ghost that they cut from the movie?
John Malkovich.
Yeah.
But my did they ever release that deleted scene of John Malkovich?
Not that I know of.
Oh, I love John Malkovich. But so 2024 is where we get Thunderbolts, which will be a direct sequel to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as Moon Knight, which is basically the same, and then Doctor Strange 2. So this is where we start to diverge a little bit. Thunderbolts is essentially the same movie. However, going back to the selfish changes, I mentioned before, Noah, this is before you joined, Yelena will be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier as essentially Zemo's bodyguard, since the movie is far more condensed. There are no flag smashers, and it's just Zemo and John Walker as the villains. So Yelena will just be there as Zemo's bodyguard who helped her break out of prison. And basically, after Zemo goes back to prison, Yelena is left alone, and she's kind of abandoned, but she ends up working for the government, just like she does in Thunderbolts. And 3 years have passed, and Zemo also ends up working for the government. So the plot basically is exactly the same. However, instead of Red Guardian abandoning Yelena and Yelena feels isolated, it's Zemo's relationship with Yelena as kind of like a big brother / co-worker. So the movie is basically identical with the minor swap of Red Guardian with Zemo, which I'm fine with because I don't like Red Guardian that much. I think he's easily the worst Thunderbolt, like by a long shot. Does anyone disagree with that? Is that a hot take to say that I don't like?
I personally disagree. I have come around on Red Guardian. I don't know if I'd say I get what you mean when you say worst Thunderbolt, but I don't want to agree with it 100% because in my brain I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Like which character I think is the weakest of the core team. I mean, power level wise, I do think he's the least unique. He is essentially just Russian Captain America, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
I just always thought he was annoying.
He's probably my least favorite of the Thunderbolts. As long as we're not counting Taskmaster. The posters count Taskmaster.
I just realized Taskmaster's on the post.
Yeah, you can see her back there.
Taskmaster is not in this movie, so it's just we'll save her / Tony Masters for a different.
Yeah.
Nick, who's your least favorite Thunderbolt, not including Taskmaster?
Honestly, probably Bucky, just because he's just not because I don't like his character, but because I don't think his character was interesting in that particular movie as part of that particular team because they ran out of things to do with his character.
I mean, I like him because it's like he matches their origin story as like a guy who was abused by the government, and he just like he's there kind of as their moral compass.
I think they need a rock to hold them down because
Yeah.
Bucky is the most sane out of all of them.
Which is
yeah, I'm of two minds with Bucky. I feel like on the one hand, I love him in Thunderbolts. I think he was really fun in that movie. I like that he gets to be like more overtly heroic there. Since again, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just locked behind a Disney Plus paywall, so people haven't seen him there.
Yeah.
And I mean I like his look in the film. I even have the skin in Marvel Rivals, so I like him in Thunderbolts. But a part of me does kind of feel conflicted with Falcon and the Winter Soldier in mind, because I thought the whole point of that show was him like I still find it weird that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like they constantly keep bringing up the White Wolf nickname, which not Bucky's in the comics, but whatever. And and in my head I'm like, okay, so if we want to call him White Wolf and not do T'Challa's adopted brother Hunter, that's fine. But then why did you keep it as Captain America and the Winter Soldier at the end of the show, like the little title change in the finale, instead of it as Captain America and White Wolf? Like,
I think it was just a nickname that the Wakandans call him. I think it genuinely was just
I know it's just a nickname for him because haha, he's the white outsider. Like, I get that, but I just find it kind of funny because part of the whole exploration of the show was him stepping away from not fully being the Winter Soldier anymore, but then he's just embracing it in the movie. I honestly wonder if that's kind of part of the film. Like, they were like, what this show tried is cool, but most people are always just going to know him as the Winter Soldier, so he might as well just take the mantle and use it for good. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on it. I like him either way, but I just found that interesting.
I mean, I'm not here to like make small like little changes that eventually like don't really change the narrative.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Bucky still could show up as like a representative of the U.S. government, which would be a direct follow-up to Falcon, and it wouldn't be as like jarring because we wouldn't have seen Bucky in 5 years. It would have just been 3. And obviously I didn't include him in the Avengers team up because he's retired as a congressman. But
we got rid of his drip though. That was messed up. I liked his Bucky Barnes costume in the show. I wish I
actually
kept that.
really like that he does not have a costume in Thunderbolts. I like that it just shows he's not a superhero. He is just like a guy.
Yeah.
Like he
interrupted his day to come here.
Yeah. But I think that then with Doctor Strange 2, I would probably just use the plot of the original script where we got Nightmare and Wanda is not a villain, because the thing is, I like WandaVision, but this movie like really sours my enjoyment of WandaVision because it very clearly was not made by the same people. And they even said the people who made Doctor Strange did not watch WandaVision. And also, I think Elizabeth Olsen even said that they didn't watch it. No. The people who wrote Doctor Strange 2 did not watch WandaVision, so they did not know Wanda's character arc.
That's crazy.
And also, Elizabeth Olsen said that the movie was being made the same time as WandaVision. So
it's even weirder that the writers weren't communicating.
So WandaVision was not
they want to
finished
follow up with each other.
WandaVision was not finished when Doctor Strange 2 was getting made. It was 2 conflicting narratives, which is why I pushed it back so much, so we had time for WandaVision to actually conclude, Doctor Strange 2. So do you guys know what the original plot of Doctor Strange 2 was going to be before the rewrites?
All I know is that it was going to be Scott Derrickson back for directing, and that there were early ideas of Nightmare being thrown around as the main villain. I don't know anything else. I know Nightmare is like as a character a little like, so maybe there's stuff I could infer, but I don't know.
Basically, from what I read, I did not read like the whole plot leak like script, but I read like small bits. Essentially, Nightmare was going to be the main villain in place of Wanda, and Wanda would not have been a villain. She would have been teaming up with Strange in America, and Nightmare was essentially going to be the devil on Wanda's shoulder, coaxing her to join the dark side, and Steven would have been the angel on Wanda's shoulder. And the movie would have ended with Wanda succumbing to the temptation because they would be traveling to different universes, and Wanda would be seeing a different Wanda with her kids, and she would be trying to resist that temptation of that different life. But eventually the movie would have ended with her fully giving into it, and I believe killing Wong. I think that's how the movie was going to end. I don't know if that's how I would have ended the movie, but in some way, having the movie end with a very grim tone of Wanda is now.
We know they were going to kill some of them. There's concept art for Multiverse of Madness of not just Wong with his head cut in half and like his brains out on the floor. That's a real piece of concept art. I had to watch that while making a video. It's
also Mordo.
Oh God! Don't even get me started. I was so like they were gonna have Wanda murder him off screen
in the opening scene. No, in the opening scene, Mordo was going to go to Wanda's house because there are too many sorcerers, and he was gonna try and like basically copper powers, and Wanda was gonna cut off his head. And then in the scene where she attacks the Sanctum, she was gonna present his head to Strange as like, "Hey, look at this."
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's like a kid who's like, "This is my bottle cap that I put up my nose. Do you want to smell it?"
I can't believe she killed Clark Backrooms.
I say this respectfully.
I am a fucking sorcerer.
I say this with all. I still got to watch Backrooms. I've heard nothing but good things.
No, it's great. It's great.
I say this with all due respect to Sam Raimi. I think he's a great director, and I appreciate his horror style. That's one of the only times when I'm like, okay, I know you're known for horror and taking it up a notch. Can you, like, thank God that didn't happen. Like, thank you for not throwing away this interesting villain plot line with perfect setup in the first movie.
Yeah.
That would have been I don't like the Master Mordo stuff. I wish they just brought Mordo back in general and made him a more interesting side antagonist.
Yeah. I hate Mordo so much. And like, no matter where you slice it, Mordo would have been misused. I think in the original script, the actual Mordo was going to come back and have a significant role in the story, but
I hope,
he was written off in the dialogue in the final product. Like the Mordo, the follow up of the Mordo plot happened off screen between movies.
Yeah, Strange said that Mordo
went crazy and tried to kill him. Yeah,
I fucking hated that. I love that first movie, and I like Mordo. So when I was
Mordo too,
when I saw that in the theaters, and he just had that line of, and then he snapped and dedicated his life to trying to kill me. I
was like,
double kicked in my chair. I'm like, okay, so Sam Raimi just didn't fucking watch, or he didn't understand Mordo's character. Like, what?
I don't like that.
I think he was more focused on the Strange Christine dynamic. That everything else in that first movie just kind of fell to the wayside. Which, like, I like the Strange Christine stuff in Multiverse of Madness, and I like that fitting for his character arc. But it really just feels like some of the other stuff really did just fall to the wayside.
It's a very messy.
I still have no fucking idea what the deal was with Rinthra, that giant CGI bull. Like,
I like him.
He's a fun bit. I'm just so confused. Like, why are you here?
He's a comic book character. We gotta have Rinthra show up, dude.
I guess.
But
I don't even know who you're talking about.
He's the green Minotaur sorcerer dude that you gotta buy 6 Marvel Legends figures to get all the parts to put him together.
I forgot that was the Marvel.
They gate kept him behind the full collection.
Yeah, because everyone in the Multiverse of Madness wave came with like a leg or like a torso piece, and you had to buy all 6 to get the parts to put him together. Which I hate that, and I'm so happy Star Wars doesn't do that with their figures.
Thank God they've started.
They used to. I remember when I was a kid, there were Star Wars figures with little pieces of whatever, like C-3PO or something.
Yeah,
they did it for Infinity Ultron too, for the What If figures. I'm happy they got rid of that.
I'm glad they didn't do that for the. That's one of the other reasons I don't buy a lot of Marvel Legends figures. I barely like have any of them. I think I only have a Steve with a hammer from Endgame, a War Machine that I got in like a 2-pack from back when I think it was like a Civil War figure. And then I did want Ironheart because I liked her suit in Wakanda Forever. So that's one of the only Marvel Legends figures I was like, I actively want that one. But the others, not only do they just come with so many pieces, and I'm like, I don't know how to display these on a shelf or where to put them in my house. But also, I just hate the idea like, oh, I want this figure. It comes with this separate figure for another one. I'm like, Well, I just wanted the one figure. I'm sorry.
I do want the Marvel Legends Reed Richards that comes out in November for Doomsday.
I want the Mr. Knight. I haven't gotten that one.
Only because I don't like Marvel Legends. It's just not my thing. But I really want him just because the new Reed comes with a Herbie, and I just want Herbie because I like Herbie. And also, I may use the head for Reed to make like a little alt head for Din Djarin. Just see. I don't think they're compatible, but Marvel Legends with the Black Series. But maybe I'll like trim the neck and like Dremel it, and you can pop it. That'll be fun. But yeah. So 2024 was a lot of work, but I restructured it. I think I'm happy with how it turned out.
Oh yeah, Moon Knight.
Oh, Moon Knight is the same.
Moon Knight unchanged. Moon Knight doesn't really interface with the rest of the MCU anyway. So it's just a cool show.
Wait, what'd you say, Nick?
Rest in piss. What if you will not be missed?
Yeah. One thing. The Illuminati, I switched around some characters. Basically throw in the Scarlet Centurion or one of the Kang variants just to show that there are other Kangs out there. Yeah. Just a minor role. Don't have them like hog the spotlight, but when they go visit the Illuminati, which was in the original script for Doctor Strange 2, I believe it was Reed, Black Bolt, Peggy, and the Superior Iron Man. It was those four. Just swap one of them out for...
That's interesting, because apparently I've seen some concept art for Multiverse of Madness. Apparently that missing seat that people have theorized to Superior Iron Man, apparently it wasn't going to be him, and it was going to be that Balder guy mentioned in Loki Season 2, who's like, I guess, a prominent Asgard character. Balder, I forget his full abbreviation, but just some guy named Balder with Asgardian connections. I
just watched a new Rockstar's character on that the other day because people were. That means the laundry is done.
I just played by Daniel Craig too.
I think so. I think that's who it was in the concept art. Yeah.
I just watched a new Rockstar's video on that, and some people were saying, "Oh, that seat belonged to Strange because he died." But then the writer said, "No, that was a member who was not there, and it's a character we may want to explore in the future." So, it's been 5 years, and we have no idea who it was.
That's a very weird choice if it was Balder, because no offense to the guy, maybe he's cool.Maybe he's like Beta Ray Bill, which is another Thor character that people think is badass. Balder. But I have no I think I unironically know more about Luna Snow, a character who had no pop culture relevance until Marvel Rivals, than I was.
Yeah.
Balder.
He was
Balder Odinson. Wait, is this guy related to Thor?
Is he?
Balder the Brave. Balder Odinson, Earth 616. I guess he's also a son of Odin.
It may have been him, but they cut him. That's probably what happened.
Should have gone with Angela. That would have been fun.
I thought.
Yeah, I at least know who Angela is.
When I heard that, I thought they were referring to Namor because Namor would have been in Wakanda Forever later that year. But
that would have been a fun choice.
Because Namor is in the Illuminati in the comics. It's Tony Reed, Professor Charles Xavier, Namor, and Black Bolt. Those Fantastic Four, Avengers, X-Men.
And I think Hank Pym's in a few of them as Yellow Jacket. So yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so I would have liked Tom Cruise Iron Man. I think that would have been funny. But but yeah, I don't know. The Illuminati was just weird in that film. But moving on to 2025, basically we got Shang-Chi 2. Just because we got to check in with our boy Shang-Chi.
It's been way too long.
Deadpool and Wolf, just because I want to check in on these characters, just make sure we're seeing them again in between. Loki Season 2, no changes, because I think Loki Season 2 is a pretty perfect season of TV.
I'd like to go on the record and say I like all of these projects from 2025, except maybe Born Again Season 1. I used to really like it, but I'm split on it now.
I've warmed up to it with Season 2.
I haven't seen Marvel Zombies.
Season 2 is great. Season 1 is rough, and I get why people don't like it anymore. I know Brave New World and Ironheart have their haters. I get it with Brave New World. I will say with Ironheart, some of the criticism is genuinely disingenuous. Like even ignoring the whole like even if we like go with the whole, okay, obviously not everyone who dislikes it is racist or sexist thing, which is it's just a dumb overassumption. I won't dive into it, but there's some criticisms of it where I'm like, holy shit, you are so desperate to make Riri a villain. Jesus Christ.
I heard like
I like Ironheart.
I've been hearing the line where she says like, "Oh, would Tony Stark have been Iron Man if he was a millionaire?" And people will be like, in the first Iron Man, he built like the thing from a box of scraps." And on like a certain level, I kind of don't like that line because it does feel like an undercutting of that character when Riri is meant to.
People are frustrated. In context, the point Riri is saying, she's not saying Tony Stark isn't a hero without money. She's saying, look, no shade, but Tony needed money to keep making these suits like I am trying to right now. That was the point of the line, and people misinterpreted it. And it's so funny because they want Ironheart to struggle, and she does in the show, and then they still vilify her and treat her like this greedy, awful, selfish person, even though the show recontextualizes that she's trying to build more accessible, easily constructible Iron Man suits so she can protect her neighborhood from the same kind of violence that killed her father and friend.
Yeah.
Oh, but she's
I just find
And this show, and they give her character flaws and call her out on them, but sure, she's a Mary Sue and evil. All right.
That's also, why I didn't watch that show, because I just didn't want to deal with that controversy.
Also, would Tony Stark be Iron Man if he didn't have a box of scraps?
Because the thing is, even when he was kidnapped by the 10 Rings, he had resources. They were given to him.
The box of scraps was his technology. They were his weapons that he wouldn't have had if he wasn't a billionaire. So she's
on top of that, he had Yinsen helping him, and people forget that Obadiah Stane is the villain and being selfish and greedy in that moment and oversimplifying what Tony went through. Like, they take the villain's line as way too literal, and it's starting to really piss me off.
It's like Kylo Ren killed a past thing. How people latched on that line. And it's like, no, that's not the point of the movie. And in Iron Man, it was a lot more than a box of scraps. You know?
I will say as well, so point is, I like all these projects, but I totally get the streamlining. I agree. We should have just gotten Shang-Chi 2 by now. It's still ridiculous that... It's so funny, too, because Shang-Chi, of the characters they introduced that first year, still fits with the multiverse saga, because he goes to Ta Lo, which is another dimension, and is tied to magic and spiritual forces. Even in the comics, like, he fights demons and wields magical artifacts connected to these bigger forces. Honestly, I want to read more Shang-Chi comics just to figure out, like, what the hell they could do for a second movie. Because, like, the first
Shang-Chi.
Because the first film, they had the 10 rings, obviously, but I have mixed thoughts on the 10 rings in that movie, and I don't love that they're not, like, a thing anymore. They're just kind of like, oh, yeah, they're one of those organizations that's out there, and I'm going to be, like, at least when Wenwu is in charge of them, it's like, okay, these are a bunch of greedy people who want power, and they're following your grieving boss. All right, fine. Kind of bland, but whatever. When Xiailing's in charge, I don't fucking know what she wants anymore with the 10 rings. Like, does she just a criminal girl boss empire? Like,
that's why I would like to follow up, because
I want to know what they were planning for that character.
She's still sitting on that chair to this day, and we don't know what to do with her.
I'm still mad that Death Dealer's dead instead of Razor Fist.
Because Death Dealer is infinitely cooler than Razor Fist. But
Death Dealer actually is cool.
Zombies for remembering that.
On one level, I do think that it's really funny. It's a good joke to have the insanely badass, doesn't say anything, super assassin get wombo comboed by a little jellyfish ghost. I thought that was very funny.
I understand that for sure. Oh, Merrick!
The minute when Macius was like the really cool person doesn't talk, the cool assassin, I'm like, that's my boy. This is evil Gambit. But yeah, so Shang-Chi 2 can literally be anything. It doesn't even have to tie into the greater multiverse saga, because literally that same year we got Deadpool 2, which Deadpool 3. So I know that this movie is I know that this movie is very controversial. I know, Nick, you don't like it.
I despise
Um,
the fiber of my being.
I
Okay.
am still very mixed on it. I'm not a huge Deadpool fan. I still think Ryan Reynolds fits this character so well because he's so annoying. And Deadpool's so annoying. He's like literally, I can't imagine anyone else playing that character. I like, even if it's not my favorite character, I respect Ryan for how he basically bullied Hollywood into making the movie. You know, I
Yeah.
respect him on that regard, even if I don't. I like him as a
Yeah.
person. I just don't like him as a creator because he talks in the same tone in every movie that he's in with the
Yeah,
same inflection.
that's the problem with Reynolds lately. It's not him playing Deadpool that I have an issue with. It's that he tries to bring Deadpool to literally every role now, and it's like, dude, this is a reason you're talked about in the same breath as The Rock, as like one of those actors who just can't
Yeah.
do any other role, who only knows how to play one act type.
Yeah, I do still think that Deadpool, like, it's the most accurate, like, portrayal of that character, but I just personally don't love Deadpool. I think it's
Sir, back to that one Netflix movie that had The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot as the three leads.
That's right.
And it was made by Sean Levy, right?
No, Sean Levy directed a different Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds right after the travesty that was Free Guy.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, he did like the Adam Project or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It was the least bad of his three with Reynolds, but you know what?
I still think that the second act of that is the best part of the film, just because I like everything with Gambit and Blade and Laura. Here's the thing, I love Daphne Keane. I still don't love her, like, dialogue in that movie, aside from the talk with her and Logan on the campfire.
Yeah.
Because literally all of her lines are just NPC dialogue. It's like, they're like, who brought us here? And she's like, that would be me. Don't make me regret it. And then her other line is she's like, my name's Laura. Let's effing go. And then that's it. Those are her only lines, aside from the campfire talk, which is actually,
those are
I think,
like
very... Yeah.
Video game character barks, you know, when
Yeah.
you're like in gameplay and they want a character to say something to you, but it's not important. It's just something they have to say to fill space.
Right.
I do love Daphne Keane, though. She's a really nice person. I think that she gets a very bad rap. I think that people need to stop being weird with her. I met her actually earlier this year for my birthday in Philly with my friends. She was so sweet. But yeah, really love her. Would still keep her. Basically, all I would do to change the narrative of this film is, instead of Cassandra Nova, just have it be Kang. Just Kang is trapped in the void. Because instead of banishing him to the quantum realm, banish him to the void, and he's trying to get out. And Deadpool and Wolverine have to fight Kang. That's it. Just make that the plot. Because I think I like Cassandra Nova as a character, but it's so weird to have her in a narrative where Charles Xavier is not included. And I think she is so closely...
true.
Yeah. And I still like her. I think we talked about this, Kevin, when we did our stream years ago. I like Cassandra Nova in the movie. I just think that she's such a wild, like, choice for... It's just, I don't know how to feel. I still don't know how to feel about it. I would probably just change her. And I also had this be after Loki season 2, so Renslayer can be in the void with Kang, because she's sent to the void in Loki season 2.
Nice.
So yeah. And basically the movie's plot can be the same, just maybe have the writing be a little bit better and a little less cringy, I guess. I don't know, because you can, I don't know, but basically,
what do you guys think is going to happen with Thor crying about?
I do actually still like that dialogue about Thor crying. That's like the one joke I still think is kind of good. I still think it would be funny if they genuinely never addressed that ever again.
that would be pretty good. Yeah, I'm of a different mind. I think I like Deadpool and Wolverine a bit more.
I really like it.
In terms of,
I just like Gambit. I just think Gambit's cool.
Fair. I still love the joke where Gambit's talking. I think he's talking about Juggernaut's helmet, and then Deadpool just interrupts him. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I need to put this delicately. Who is your dialect coach? The Minions?
I love Channing Tatum. I'm excited to see him again as Gambit, even if it's not the same version of the character from Deadpool. It's the same actor, but a different Gambit, and he's got.
It's just gonna feel weird. I get why some people are like, don't bring him back. The entire point of his character is that he got his ending. I understand that perspective, but I'm also like, come on, man. They're gonna reboot the X-Men anyway next year, in 2 years. What's one more round? Why not?
That's just why I don't like the X-Men coming back in Doomsday, because I think that it's so superfluous to have them come back for one last round when we know they're gonna get reset. So what's the point? And it's so funny because, spoilers for Brand New Day, the movie's been out for like a month at this point, so if you haven't seen it, that's on you.
True.
Like, we're getting new X-Men variants with Jean Grey, so what's the point of bringing back the Fox X-Men? And it just feels so weird. And also, according to the leaks, I won't get into spoilers because I know, Matias, you and I have read that script very thoroughly.
Have I?
We're not very happy with how the X-Men specifically are characterized, but I think it's a very odd decision to have, like, essentially nostalgia bait, like, I say that in a complimentary way, of being like, guys, it's the Fox X-Men, and they're back, and they have the comic accurate costumes.
They're gonna die again.
They could die again, but we know it's probably gonna happen because of the comics. But the characterization of the X-Men specifically is very weird, considering it's going to be borderline character assassination for these characters, and I still don't agree with a certain decision they're making with them in this movie. And it feels like it feels like counterintuitive to have, like, oh, look, it's these characters you know and love, and also we're straight up doing questionable choices with them that is essentially spitting in their faces, even if it's not the same version. So
we're annihilating this old universe. Like, it can't just exist out in the multiverse. We got to kill it too.
It's just like, wait, did you guys read the script?
I haven't paid attention to any Doomsday leaks, partly because partly because anytime I look up anything related to Doomsday on YouTube, I'm bombarded with AI shit. Or at least I was.
100%.
At least I was before the trailers. But
I've seen some of the leaked plot outlines. Half of them read exactly the same with minor changes, and they all sound really bad. But
part of the reason I also avoid script leaks is because I hear some. Well, first off, I'm still invested in these movies despite their faults, so I kind of want to go in blind if I can. But additionally, there was a rumored leaked Kang Dynasty script that came out a while ago,
and it was fully AI generated.
Either that or it just wasn't very convincing. It read like somebody making shit up just to get clicks. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell with a lot
Eric
of this
Voss fully debunked it. He's like, this has to be AI generated, guys.
I watched the video where he was talking about it. He mentioned reading through it on a live stream with friends. I want to find that live stream. I still haven't seen it in my recommendations.
It's very overly it over explains things, and it feels like it's written by an AI. The way it interprets dialogue. So it's probably fake.
in a hey, we're gonna use a whole paragraph to recap a Disney Plus show type.
Yes.
Over
Yeah. It feels like I think one of the characters, I forgot who it was, but they tell Moon Knight, "Ooh, I like your armor," and then Moon Knight explains it through a quip, and it very much feels virtually generated. But so that the Kang Dynasty script is fake. I am inclined to believe the Doomsday leaks are real, just because of how everything leaking out recently and everything that's been officially revealed is unfortunately lining up.
The trailers seem to line up with the leak. I still am hoping. I don't know that the leak is real.
I hope that they're fake.
I hope that they're fake because I don't like what I read.
No, Matias and I read it on a call together, and we were reading it out loud, and we were laughing at multiple intervals. As we're like, this is gonna be the worst movie ever made if it's real.
I'm actually upset.
Yeah, we were actually upset.
We were the worst movie ever made thing. So
at least I'll have stuff to talk about with friends on Discord. If that's the case.
it's gonna have a lot to like. It'll be something to talk about for ages. It's just gonna make me sad because I bought like 12 tickets for the movie.
Oh, you're going to
Because
be.
it was my dad and I were gonna go together. So it was 2
Mhm.
people, and then my dad's like, "Oh, Joe, bring Megan, bring your girlfriend." So I got another one for Megan, and then my dad wanted to bring his wife, so we're bringing Dania. So it's 4
Okay.
people, and then my uncle wanted to come because he also likes Marvel, and he's like, "Oh, there's a new Avengers coming."
Okay.
So he didn't even know there was a new Avengers, and I'm like, "That's sad." And then he wanted to come, and then my cousin is like, "Oh, I love Florence Pugh." So then we got her, and then my dad's
boy.
like, "Let me ask my cousin," and he's like, "Oh, so it's like, oh, we're bringing my cousin Larry, and he's bringing his 5 kids." So we brought like 5, 6 more tickets. So by
That's
the end of the
crazy.
day, we brought like 12. We got 12 tickets for Avengers Doomsday. It's the most money me and my dad have spent on a single movie, and it's probably going to be the worst movie of 2020.
I'm almost kind of jealous. I want to go see it with my brother, but he's in Texas, and I'm literally if I remember correctly, and this goes according to plan, I'm literally going to be flying down right before Christmas to see him again, right after Doomsday drops. So
Megan, yeah, like Megan and I are gonna be looking at each other the whole, because my dad is like very much like 8-brain perspective. Like when I told him that Steve Rogers is coming back, he's like, "That's awesome! I love Captain America. I'm so happy he's coming back." And I'm like, "Okay, Dad." I'm like, "Okay, Dad." I'm like, "Let's," because I'm very much of the opinion that Cap coming back is a bad idea. I like his ending in Endgame.
Yeah, I don't mind Steve Rogers coming back or like being seen again. I've said this, I'm sure I've said this before in another stream, but my problem with it is that Sam Wilson has gotten so little focus in the Multiverse saga that it frustrates me too, because in that first trailer, Sam doesn't get a single line. He doesn't even, I don't even think he appears in the special look they dropped for D23. And mind you, I like both of these trailers. I enjoy watching them. I think the D23 one, it gives me a lot of hope for Doom's characterization, but I think with the thing that bugs me is that my problem is the framing of it. If it was just, oh, Steve Rogers is coming back, that's fine. The fact that it's the first trailer, or I'm sorry, part of a story we're telling before the first trailer. It's a teaser trailer, Russo. Shut the fuck up. Like, no, I did it again. Sorry. But like, just shut the hell up, Russos, please. But the fact that was the first thing we saw for Doomsday in filmmaking form, not any of the new Avengers, not anything, not Doom himself, not Sam or Ant-Man, who should have been more important with the Kang shit, but no, that movie flopped, so Ant-Man is unpopular, I guess, even though Ant-Man isn't the problem with Quantumania. Well, kind of, but, you know.
I do hope they mention, like when Thor's like, "There's a new enemy we have to face," and Ant-Man is like, he's a multiversal threat, and Ant-Man's like, "Oh, I know this guy. We defeated him." He's like, "His name is Victor," and Ant-Man's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." But I think Doomsday, it really depends on how they use these characters. I don't know why we need Loki back. I don't know why we need like Steve back. I don't know why we need the X-Men back. It really should have just been the new Avengers, the Sam's Avengers, and the Fantastic Four.
At least with Loki, I get it because it's the end of the multiverse and he's holding up the world tree. With Steve, it really is just like, okay, I get it. He went to another timeline and that created a whole multiverse. So maybe there's some branching consequences problem, yada, yada, yada. Again, for me, it's just the framing. I would have no problem with Steve coming back for a cameo, but that first trailer really had the audacity to show Doctor Doom stopping Stormbreaker with, I assume, magic, but also just 2 fucking fingers. And Thor saying, I keep swearing, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to do it intentionally. With 2 damn fingers. And they have Thor say, "We're going to need a miracle." And then you cut to Steve coming back and taking Mjolnir like, yo, regular guy is going to save the multiverse. At best, he's Nomad. Like that. That's the most unique you can get with it.
And I'm not excited. And also, like, from what I've heard from reports, Steve is like essentially the main character, and
I hope that's a bait and switch. I heard a great theory on Blue Sky, somebody saying, I bet they're going to pull a bait and switch, bait everybody with Steve and make Sam one of the key characters. Because he was one of the first characters to get like a Marvel Legends figure. Like the first wave has Sam in it. So I hope that's the case, but I don't trust Marvel without
I don't
really
trust them.
Sam.
I think what would be cool is if Steve is actually Captain Hydra and it's like the twist is that he's a villain. I would love that.
As long as he's
like,
not working for Doom, because I don't like the idea of Hydra Cap working for Doom, because in my mind I'm like, guys, Doom is Romani and Hydra are Nazis. Nazis persecuted Romani people. Do the fucking math.
I think it would just be so funny that like it would be a cool concept to be like advertising the movie as, guys, Captain America is back, Steve Rogers is back, and then it's actually scratch that, he's actually one of the villains and it's not our Steve.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Kind of cool. I would like that.
But I think that it's actually Steve Rogers. I don't think it's Captain Hydra, but that would be cool. But
I don't mind doing Secret Empire in the movies, and I get why people want to see it. A part of me is though kind of like, I don't know, that feels like an all hands on deck situation for a lot of Marvel characters. And unless you build up to it, it kind of takes a sec to, like, I think Secret Empire would be great as a Cap 6, like maybe in a version where Red Skull somehow comes back because of the timeline getting messed up, and he uses the Cosmic Cube to rewrite reality, and then Sam wakes up and, like, Cap 6 is a mystery, where it's basically like Flashpoint, where Sam wakes up and is like, why is everything taken over by Hydra? And the film is figuring out what happened and stop reversing it. I think that could be great, but as like, I don't know, an Avengers movie, when people are just like, bring back the OG cast as evil Avengers, I'm just kind of over here like, I thought the entire reason we were mad at Downey Doom is that they're bringing back an old cast member. And just
I still don't like Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. I still think that's really something that's going to weigh down my enjoyment of the film. It's just this white guy, the whitest dude imaginable.
I think he'll give a good performance. I just hate. The thing I'm still just hung up on is the Russo brothers saying like no other person in the world could play this version of Doom, and I'm just over in the corner shut up.
I think if I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, they do say in the Marvel multiversal story there is only one person who can play. I don't think they're saying the only actor who can play Victor. I think they mean in this particular story there's only one person who can play Victor. But I still don't agree with having him be Tony Stark. I think that they should have just cast an actual Romani actor. I just think it's weird to have, and also it just feels very desperate to have them.
Also, if you want to bring back Tony Stark and make him evil, do Superior Iron Man. That's like the one Iron Man suit you haven't sold as a toy yet. Like,
going to 2026, we got Moon Knight season 2. Fantastic Four First Steps, which is just the same movie because I love that movie. Literally no changes to that. And Avengers Quantumania. So, basically with this, what I imagine is the Avengers versus the Thunderbolts, and then they're sucked into the quantum realm together, and they have to fight Kang the Conqueror, who, after Deadpool and Wolverine, is stuck in the quantum realm. So he goes from being stuck in the void to getting banished to the quantum realm. So, basically, it would be Cap, Ant-Man, Thor, Shuri, Shang-Chi, and Strange, along with Yelena, Sentry, Bucky, Ghost, John, and Zemo having to fight the King the Conqueror together. And I think, I think maybe if they were to kill a character or two off just to make this feel like Kang is a real threat, I think that would be cool. Also, I think having Kang lose to 12 Avengers would not be as insulting to him just losing to Ant-Man. I think that would be far more acceptable.
I think it's the frustrating thing with Quantumania, because I like the idea. I like Kang being stuck in the quantum realm, this thing that was the key to saving the universe in Endgame is now going to be the key to almost dooming it in this new saga. And I like that premise of like characters getting stuck in another world, trying to get out, and a villain gets out instead, and maybe some of the heroes have to lose to try and stop them. I think that's a great premise. It's just the movie forgot, oh yeah, we can't just forget about the Ant-Man cast. I mean, they did with Louise and company, but with the main characters, I don't mind them focusing it to the Ant-Man family. My problem is they give fucking nuts. I keep swearing too much. I'm so sorry. They keep giving nothing.
Demonetized already.
They keep giving nothing to the rest of the cast. At least with Scott, there was a paper-thin idea of him being a better father to Cassie and spending more time with him. Everybody else got nothing. Janet just gave exposition about her relationship with Kang. Hank just said he liked ants and got jealous of Janet and Kang's thing. And then Hope, oh my God. Like, I know Evangeline Lilly is not, like, the best actor in terms of, like, I believe she got in some trouble for some stuff. But, like, good Lord, they really just did not give Hope's character... The problem with Quantumania is that they give a better idea for Ant-Man 3 in the first minutes of the movie. They say, oh, Hope is running the Pym like laboratories now, and it's giving Pym particles out to the world. And I'm like, that should have been a movie. That should have been the movie. A debate about that and make MODOK the main villain and the efficacies of like Pym particles getting out to the world. That sounds way more fun. Like, I think that was... Yeah, I agree. This should have been an Avengers movie.
And you can kill off some characters just to make us really feel... I think the first character you would probably kill is John Walker, because he's easily the most... what's the word? I think John
he's the most morally questionable. Like,
not morally questionable, but I think he's the one that, like, if you were to have him be in a movie with the Avengers, like, he's the discount Captain America, so having him be, like, next to Sam...
I'm surprised you'd kill him over Ghost. I like Ghost more than John Walker. I just think Ava's more expendable as a character on the broad scheme of things.
I also think, like, the movie... this team up has so much potential because you have, since I put Zemo in the Thunderbolts, you have you have him alongside Shuri. And people forget, Zemo killed Shuri's dad. You can have a lot of good drama with that.
And that would be new because we've explored so much of what T'Chaka meant to T'Challa and the aftermath of things like Killmonger. We know and granted, Wakanda Forever did a good job showing what Ramonda means to Shuri. We don't really know much about Shuri and her relationship with T'Chaka. And honestly, I think that is one of the things that I feel is missed potential with Black Panther media. I think there, at least outside of the comics, maybe there is tons of comic stuff with it. I don't know. I feel like...
Oh no,
what happened?
Megan's in the chat. She's like, wait, there's a new season of Moon Knight? And I'm like, no.
Oh.
This is something I made up, Megan. We're not getting a new Moon Knight. I'm sorry. Oscar Isaac is still MIA. But no, this is theoretically what we would do in 20... I'm sorry. Kevin, please continue.
No, yeah, I feel one thing that is kind of... I do wish we got to see a little more with T'Challa, and I hope we get a little more with Shuri. I like the idea, because with Black Panther, I think he's one of those characters where there is so much emphasis on the royal status and the mystique and power of him that we don't really get a sense of like, oh, what does T'Challa or Shuri do in their free time? Like when they're not the king or queen of Wakanda, what do they enjoy doing? Like we get a little bit of that in the first Black Panther movie. Like he's talking to W'Kabi by the Rhino Farm and talking with Nakia in the marketplace. But a lot of it is still related to Wakanda's place in the world and what they should be doing. And I think that works for that first movie, given its themes of globalism versus isolation. But sometimes I am kind of like, I don't know, what movies does Shuri like? What stuff does she do outside inventing? Because they had that great bit in the first movie with the sneakers where she mentioned like fully automated, like the American movie Bubba used to watch, that being her father. So that shows, T'Chaka liked Back to the Future. That's kind of fun. What other interests do they have as a family? So yeah, I think exploring her connection to T'Chaka, maybe that's a way they bond. Science fiction.
I want more Age of Ultron moments where the characters are just chilling out at like a party. I want to see
more of.
Best scene in Age of Ultron.
I want,
one of the best, for sure.
I want to see like Thor and Strange talking again because they obviously like knew each other in Thor Ragnarok. I think that like Scott and Shuri I could see getting along. Sam
Yeah.
and
Scott
I
and
could see
Ava, I need to see that in Doomsday.
that
They
would
need to
that
talk to each other.
they
Christ.
better
Yeah.
they better talk. And also that's something that would be in Quantumania, Scott and Ava teaming up. Basically my envisioning is when they're all sucked into the quantum realm, just like in Ant-Man 3, they're like sent off to different of like they're
split up.
sent off. They're split up. So what I envision is the first team is Yelena, Bucky, John Walker, Stephen Strange, and Sam. So those
Okay.
5. Basically the Cap team and then Steven. Then Shang-Chi, Thor, and Sentry. And then the last team being Ant-Man, Ghost, Zemo, and Shuri. So the 2
Okay.
buddies, Ava and Ant-Man, who like each other, who are on good terms, and then Zemo and Shuri, the guy
Yeah.
who killed King T'Chaka and then King T'Chaka's daughter.
Right.
And then I think Sentry, Thor, and Shang-Chi could be fun because Sentry and Thor, I would like to see them like try and like I could see Thor not liking Sentry because he's like, I'm the strongest Avenger. Like that's like my only thing, and you literally can like. And then Bob, I could see being very like offended and like upset that Thor doesn't like him, and he's like, I literally haven't done anything to you, man. I'm sorry. Like I could see, and Shang-Chi, I could just see there being like, I can also like own both of you guys in like 5 seconds, but
yeah, and Shang-Chi, I think as well, you could even have like because I think something all these characters have in common is family issues. Because Shang-Chi obviously with Wenwu, but then also Bob's trauma with his father, and then Thor as well. Like we tend to forget. Oh yeah, Ragnarok. One of the things that made Ragnarok interesting, on top of the fresh take with the comedy and whatnot, was Hela dropping the ball that like, oh yeah, Odin was a fucking colonizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was not a great guy, and I basically, the film heavily implies like, it's so good because Hela is still evil in that movie, but it makes it clear Odin was part of the problem, and when he tried to backtrack, he had already turned her into this perfect weapon, and thus had to seal her away, which was bad, but still, like, it was his own fault. So
the opening of Ragnarok is still so funny to me, where Odin is like, guys, I'm dying. Also, by the way, you have a sister, and she's like literally like the most evil person, and like I'm fully responsible, but I'm dying, so I don't have to take responsibility for it.
Right.
There's something I gotta tell you.
Also, me living is the only thing that is gonna keep her from escaping. I'm dying. Bye, guys. I don't like Love and Thunder, but that's still like the recreation with the late Sam Neill and Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth's brother of Sam Neill being like, guys, I'm dying. Also, you have a secret sister named Hela. I'm turning into Stardust.
Yeah.
I still
and
love
Melissa
that.
McCarthy.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy as Hela. That was like, I still love that whole sequence.
Yeah.
In Love and Thunder. But yeah, so then I could see like the characters finally in the final act working together as like 2 teams of Avengers fighting like Kang. I also think like them getting sucked into the quantum realm could be like essentially the Avengers are working on some new quantum tech, and then Thunderbolt Ross or Val or whoever is in charge is like, I need you to like spy on the Avengers, see what they're working on. The Thunderbolts try to be all pompous and be like, we need to investigate, and then the 6 of them fight. I could see Bucky trying to be a median, not wanting everyone to fight, so he's like just in the middle. You can have
that would
like
be so fun. Yeah.
You can have Shang-Chi and Thor trying to body Bob, and they're literally not doing anything against him. You can have a really fun fight with Shuri and Zemo. You can have Ant-Man and Ava, kind of like Clint and Nat in Civil War, like we're still friends, right? Or like something like that.
Would be fun.
That you can have so much. I always envision something I really want is like Yelena trying to fight Doctor Strange and Steven being like, you're literally a normal person. I have fought actual demons, and he tries to sling ring her, and Yelena just being super agile, just like manages to just pickpocket his sling ring the way America does, and just nerfs Doctor Strange. I see that like as a very fun. Like you could do so much with these characters fighting.
Dude, honestly, I honestly, dude, if you ever want to do this as like another stream, I'd love to write a project like this or something. That's interaction sounds so fun, of like them getting into a fight. And I would love to write something like that. That just sounds so fun.
I also like envision like when they all crash, Steven makes like little like cushions for them or something. Or after Ava and Scott are fighting, maybe you have like Scott turns into Giant Man and then like catches her, and then like they scale back down and she's like, oh thanks, and he's like, look, I'm not actually gonna let you get hurt. Like we're actually friends or something like that. Or
You
like
could also do a joke where she's like, I'll
and then,
touch you. And she phases through.
Or like Zemo is caught by Shuri, and then Shuri just like tosses him on the ground. Like you could do you could do so much fun stuff. And
yeah, like he's in the Citizen V costume from the Thunderbolts comics. So he's like falling down, she catches him, and it's like, I'm impressed at your reflexes. Damn it, I thought you were Wilson. And then just drops him.
I know, it's like you could have like a thank you, and then Shuri just drops him.
Exactly.
And, like that could be, you could do so much fun stuff with these like 12 characters. And maybe like in Kang's first outing at the end of the first act, when he comes in and he fights, you could see him killing off like John Walker or something, and then at the end maybe he kills off another character just to like fully cement himself as a threat. And another thing I really want to see is, because this is something I hate that they do in Quantumania, when Kang is threatening Ant-Man, he like is torturing Cassie, and he says something like, I can kill her multiple times and reset her and essentially have her die hundreds of times, and you are going to witness it happen. And then we never see that happen. And I'm not saying I want to see Catherine Newton die multiple times, but I also want to see Catherine Newton die multiple times, because that sounds horrific. And I don't, not that I hate Catherine Newton, but like that sounds really horrific for Scott to see. I want to see that happen.
That's something so evil that it would be interesting for a villain to do that to a character.
Let the character do something horrific.
And it's not like in the final movie, because like during the climax, Kang just starts, just blasting people and disintegrating them in an instant. It's like, Jesus Christ, that is a terrifying weapon. So naturally, he's going to use it against the people that started this revolution, right? And he is still high on his, you guys are literal ants mindset, that it's like, dude, you are just such a dumb villain. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say Thanos was perfect at his tactical maneuvers every single time. Thing is, though, Thanos makes up for it, because when you watch that fight on Titan, you can tell he enjoys the conflict. Like, there's that bit where Iron Man launches all those missiles at him, and Thanos is like, come on, like he's enjoying it a bit. So
also Thanos, like the all that for a drop of blood, like it's good.
Like it's like Crossbones in Civil War as well. I remember, back when I was on Twitter, there were like people in former friend groups of mine criticizing Civil War, and one of the criticisms of that first fight was, why doesn't Crossbones pull out the blade? Well, we have dialogue in the fight where he's like, he's enjoying it. He's been waiting for this chance with Steve. They literally box with each other. At one point, Steve like punches him back in the face, and he's just like, "Come on!" And like, and he was
the what does he say to Steve? He's like, last time
this is for dropping a building on my face. Yeah,
I've been waiting for this. Like,
that was the personal aspect of it. So you can have villains where they don't make perfect decisions, as long as like, they're enjoying the conflict. That makes sense. But with Kang, they set him up as like, I'm just a man who has to do this for the betterment of the universe. And I'm just angry at everybody. So it didn't work the same way.
You can also see a dilemma where like basically he captures one of the three groups, and basically offers them like if you help me escape, I will spare your universe and I won't touch you guys. Like, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And like, it could offer a good dilemma, because I remember the first teaser for Quantumania had a really good tagline or something at the end where it implies that Ant-Man's going to do something evil or sinister to help Kang, and then that's never in the movie. Like, it doesn't basically
they have that line as
the
well.
The marketing team was evil from Quantumania.
The trailer's so good.
They edited some of the trailers to make Scott say like, I don't care who this guy is, I've just lost so much time, implying like he's going to work with Kang or bargain with him to get more time with Cassie. And that's an interesting idea, but then, like you said, they don't do
Not
anything.
in the movie. This is
It's-
the movie lied.
Dude,
The trailer
some
lied
of these
to us.
Marvel trailers have been lying late. Like, dude, the final trailer for the Marvels is one of the most desperate Marvel trailers I've ever seen. I honestly think it's even more desperate than any of the cameo-filled ones like the Doomsday trailer, because the Marvel's final trailer, the way it shows footage from previous movies and Thanos talking about his mission, and they have him say, like, there will always be those to continue my work or something, and they show Dar-Ben as if Dar-Ben is a servant of Thanos and continuing his mission. And dude, they're so lazy. They take Fury's line from the first Avengers movie where he's talking in where the Avengers start fighting because of Loki's mind control, and Fury says the world's filling up with people that can't be matched, that can't be controlled, and they edit it to say she can't be matched, she can't be controlled, in reference to Dar-Ben. I'm like, holy that is so lazy. And they play like the Avengers theme, like the duh duh duh. I'm like, shut up. That's not in the movie. The Beastie Boy trailers were good. Why are we doing this?
I like the
I
first
never saw
teaser.
those trailers.
I
Or
like
the last
the
trailer.
one with Intergalactic was good. I didn't watch that other trailer that you're mentioning.
Well, the
I
other
saw
one
the
was
Intergalactic one.
Yeah, the final trailer was lame. The Intergalactic ones were fun.
I showed this to Matias. It was a little interaction between Kang and Victor, if they were to meet, of like teasing another villain eventually, where Kang says something like, he looks at Strange and he goes, "It's Victor, if I'm not mistaken," and then Strange corrects him, and then Kang goes, "Yes, the Cosmos most, like, the Cosmos second best sorcerer." Like, just a really quick quip that could inevitably tease Victor Von Doom,
right?
But confusing them because both Victor and Steve Stephen Strange are sorcerers or spellcasters. Just to show that Kang has experience with the multiverse. I think that would be fun. So yeah, then 2026 leading into 2027. I call this one. Basically, this is where essentially things go a little more berserk, because now we got Doctor Strange 3. This is just following up on maybe the greater threat of Kang the Conqueror as well as Wanda. So maybe Steven is investigating like where these other Kang variants are coming from, and he also has to deal with the threat of the Scarlet Witch. Daredevil Born Again, I just had to delay it because we had Loki and Moon Knight before. Maybe Moon Knight could be involved now because we just had Moon Knight season 2. So Moon Knight, because this is, I really want Moon Knight and Daredevil to team up because they're such fun. That would be such a fun duo. Ever since Moon Knight showed up in 2022, that was something I wanted.
Has everyone here seen or at least have knowledge of Daredevil Born Again season 2? Okay, without giving too much away, I'm still very confused on what they're going to do for season 3. Like, I have no idea where they're going to go from here. I'm curious, but
so excited.
I don't know.
I think season 3 is going to be like amazing because I really
Defenders, but
I didn't like season 1. I love season 2. Season 2 is like one of my favorite seasons of Marvel television.
Love season 2 so much.
Mainly because of Bullseye. I love Bullseye.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see him again.
One of my favorite. I really want him to join the Thunderbolts.
Like, that would
John Walker
so
realizing he's the least like the only the second most
he's
psychotic.
No longer the most psychotic.
I love that just because it's like they wouldn't like him, but
it'd be like in Suicide Squad, like John Walker is Peacemaker and Yelena looks at Bullseye. I thought you were the crazy one.
That would be great. I really want to see Bullseye join up with them. All we need now is Zemo and Abomination. But,
honestly.
And then Brand New Day. Brand New Day is exactly the same.
Of course.
Literally no changes. Like
it's peak.
It is
so
peak.
Good.
And then I also like everything with Jean Grey. Would still like, because I originally was gonna have this multiverse saga have X-Men in it, but I just removed that because I think going forward it would make more sense to just have the X-Men take place after, just have a mutant saga. I think this is just cramming too much stuff. I think having space for these characters to breathe would make a little more sense. Then 2028. 2028, obviously, I just left everything blank. This is where I take
Oh,
some
it's
more
beautiful.
graphic design is my passion. For Born Again Season 2, no changes. Love Born Again Season 2. I decided to have a Gambit movie for Channing Tatum. Have him essentially what I envision is a like universe hopping Gambit movie where he's hunting down Kang variants. Maybe he could work with Doctor Strange.
You
I
could
don't
also have
know.
him. Yeah, you could also. There's tons of X-Men stuff you could throw in there. Like,
Yeah.
he has this whole relationship with a group of thieves called the Thieves Guild. You could do
Yeah.
something with that. Maybe bring in a villain like, I don't know, Hood, or hell, even Black Cat or something. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I was gonna say we have Hood, but obviously in this plan, Ironheart hasn't come out. Hood is in
right.
Ironheart.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's different.
You can literally do anything with this. Have it be like a bigger scale multiverse. Like Kang is essentially not Kang. Gambit is like working for Doctor Strange and he's helping out. The Avengers like look for the Kang variants, or just have like a smaller
Gambit should get
scale.
hired by the TVA.
Or yeah, Gambit's hired by the TVA, or just have Gambit in the current MCU where he's just trying to settle down in New Orleans. Like have like an actual like basically this is just Gambit trying to basically you can set him up to be in one of the later Avengers movies, and this is
Right.
just us getting to know him a little bit better. You can literally do anything. I just want to see Channing Tatum's Gambit again.
Fair.
And then you got Fantastic Four Doomsday, which I literally just have as a Fantastic Four sequel before the big like Avengers Infinity War style ending, where we
Right.
get a little more knowledge
Victor.
on Victor Von Doom. And this could either be, because I talked about this with Matias, this could either be a movie where Victor's rivalry with the Fantastic Four is already established, and he is already the evil ruler of Latveria that we know and hate, and this is just a Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom movie where we're thrown right into it, and Victor's doing something nefarious. Or you can have a Fantastic Four movie where Victor is a rival of the Fantastic Four, but he's not evil yet, and he is just starting to become more nefarious and essentially is spiraling down this level of guilt and like tragedy where he lost his mother, and maybe you can include Mephisto. I don't know. Set him up
Right.
for a like Midnight Suns movie in the future. But this could be Victor's origin as Doctor Doom, or just have him be already Doctor Doom and we're just getting thrown right into it, just like we were with the first Fantastic Four film. But
Yeah.
either way, have a movie with Doctor Doom before the big Avengers film. And speaking of which, we have finally arrived at the end with the Kang Dynasty, the Avengers movie that never was. So with this, I envision that a Kang, whether it's the Kang Council or Immortus or the Scarlet Centurion or Ramatut, have attacked the Fantastic Four's universe, and the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom are banished to the Avengers 616 universe, and it's them teaming, along with Doctor Doom, teaming up with the Avengers and the New Avengers, and they have to find a way to stop the Kang Dynasty from these incursions, like their universes colliding. Maybe even have the X-Men. You can have Deadpool and Wolverine and Gambit also there, just don't have the Fox X-Men. So these three teams of these multiversal like X-Men anchor beings of the three of them, along with the Fantastic Four and Doom. And what I envision how the movie would end is the Kangs and the Avengers are fighting, but Doctor Doom stabs them in the back and betrays them. He murders Kang and absorbs their power to create Battle Worlds. And I think that would be a really good twist, because you can have Doctor Doom. You can have Doom interacting with these characters and almost having you think like maybe there is hope for this character. Maybe Doom isn't like this wicked of a person, because with Doom, he is a complex character. He is tragic. He's just so like he has the biggest ego that it absorbs him. So you can have like throughout the movie, like he's almost like subconsciously being compared to Kang, where you think he's not as bad and you would never think he would do this, and then at the end he does do it. And
And that's a good way to adapt the comics, because that's the whole big twist in the original comic, that Doom steals Beyonder's power and just becomes. And yeah, the ego ties into it, because that's what's so fun about Doom. When he gets the power, he claims like, oh yeah, I'm beyond mortal comprehension and issues now. But the first thing he does with it is fix the scars in his face and try to bring his mother back. So it's perfect contrast.
Yeah, and I could see like I forgot what I was gonna say. Basically, like I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Oh no, I forgot, because I had a really good point I wanted to make, but basically, if we come back to it, I'll bring it up again. But it was gonna be something about the Kangs and Doom, but basically. All right, if I remember, we'll come back to it. But the final film would, of course, just be Secret Wars. Literally nothing to go over. Just this is the big Avengers final battle. And yeah, basically, I think what you could have is with Doom, maybe have him. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Because I think that with the ending of Kang Dynasty, you should have something similar to Infinity War, where everyone says that, like, at least this is my interpretation, Infinity War is just like any other Marvel movie except for the ending. Because let's say theoretically Thor did go for the head, the movie would end. It would be like any other MCU movie, because if it ended there and Thanos really died, Thor would be the main character. He saved the day. We did it. And it would be a little bit tragic because we lost Gamora, we lost Vision, we lost Loki, but it still has a somewhat happy ending. We defeated the bad guy, but of course that is not how it went, because Thor's ego got the better of him and Thanos got to snap his fingers. But I would like to think that that is a similar ending for Kang Dynasty, where we defeat Kang, we have done it, the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and Deadpool and Wolverine and Gambit have defeated Kang the Conqueror, or the Council of Kangs, but they oversaw, just like we did, we completely forgot about Doctor Doom being in the room, because we were already thinking about Kang, and he had to let his ego get the better of him and take Kang's power, and that leads into Secret War, because while some would think, like, because I was thinking, like, how would this look theoretically as a film? Would that be perceived as, like, incredibly rushed, like a rug pull where, oh my god, Doctor Doom? But then you have to remember, we still have a whole other movie where Doctor Doom gets to be the villain.
And so there would be there'd be set up with him if First Step stays the same. We have that quick shot of the Latvian flag at the One Piece Council that Sue puts together. We would
also
have
I do want a selfish, like, addition where, because this is something I think should have just been in First Steps, like, as it is right now, where when Galactus is, like, tearing stuff up and they're freaking out before the big battle, Ben and Reed can have a talk where they're like, do you think we should call Victor? And Reed is like, we can't trust him, like, we need to, and, like, you can have, like, just a really small, like, Ben is like, do you think we should call him? And Reed's like, no, like, we
I think
cannot,
it'd be cooler if they didn't mention Victor's name. Like, if Ben just asking the question is enough to infer to Reed who he's talking about, and then, like, you get more Doctor Doom or more Victor. You know,
it would be fun if before they call Mole Man, where they're like, we need to think about the people, and Ben is like, do you want to call him? And Reed's like, no, like, just to have his face say it, like, no.
Like, they're considering it because it's like the fate of the world, but honestly, you could play it kind of like I like that one. I like how in like the Ant-Man post-credit scene, that was literally just the scene from Civil War with Bucky, but chopped down to just the beginning and end. They have that bit with Sam and Steve where it's like, if we call Tony, he won't work with us. But even if he did, who knows if the Accords would let him help? Like, and that, just kind of filling in the blanks ourselves of like, oh, something's not right here. What beef do you guys got going on?
I could see it being like just very brief, like, there, you know, but we would still have build up to Doom, because we would have a whole movie of Doom being evil, and then the Kang Dynasty where he's helping out kind of as a reluctant anti-villain, where he's just kind of along for the ride because he just has to be there with the Fantastic Four, and then at the end he finally gets his moment, and then you would have Secret Wars where he still gets to be Emperor Doom. So
Yeah.
I'd like to. You would still get basically 3 movies of Doctor Doom,
Right.
and even in one of them, if he's not even being the main villain and he's almost there for just the kind of like the Loki where he's like in Ragnarok where he's just kind of there as like the I'm doing my own thing, but you don't know that yet.
Right.
Or almost
Yeah.
have it so Reed is trying to reason with him, like, you know, we could like we'll figure this out eventually. Like right now, we can't think about our rivalry. Like we need to think about the greater stake. Like I'm not thinking about how much I hate you at the moment. I just want us to kind of work together because we got
Right.
bigger fish to fry and we got a whole team of people here to help us. Like
You could even tie that into Doom's ego. Like Doom is not so Doom is better than you because he is not making this about your hatred of me. And Reed's just like, yeah, thanks, Victor.
I'm picturing a scene where they're in the opening where they're getting like chased by the Kang variant, so they're under attack by Kangs, and Sue or Reed is like, Victor, like fire back at them or something, and it's like like something like Doom does not heed your petty like like
yeah, like
petty
Doom will
calls
fire
for help.
back by his own
And
accord.
then he's like, he's almost shot. He's like, we must move with haste. Like, he just starts doing his magic, like
Yeah.
something like that, where he's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll.
What was I just about to quote? There's
no.
a bit. I swear, there's a bit I've seen. Oh, you know, Doom. Yeah, in terms of Doom's characterization, there's this great joke I've seen from Penguins of Madagascar from King Julian, where he says, I will not apologize. Apologizing is for the weak and wrong, and that is why you should apologize because you are weak and wrong. And also, I don't like
Yeah,
you.
that's something Victor would say. But I've seen like that meme of the Victor with the Wi-Fi floating around recently of like he made Richard's something like Richard sucks or something as his Wi-Fi password in like in that area.
There's a SpongeBob meme where like I forget what it was. There's a SpongeBob picture meme that I saw get a fan animation. So it was like a meme of like Trump saying like, let's send all the obsidian to Bikini Bottom. And then there's just a giant ball of obsidian about to fall on the city. Then you hard cut to SpongeBob and Patrick running. See, SpongeBob, this is why I voted for Biden. Patrick, shut the fuck up. I don't even know the context, but that's the vibe I get of Reed and Doom. Just a whole army of Kangs. And Doom is like, you see, Reed, this is why I recommended the plan that you called inferior. And Reed's just like, I don't want to hear it right now, Victor. That was just
that would be funny.
Clearly a bit only I know about, but still.
Also, you could have a chance for Victor and Strange to try one-upping each other throughout the film because the Avengers would be working with the Fantastic Four. That could be so much fun where it's like 2 wizards trying to like they're fighting Kangs and they're trying to
and they're just kind of showing off and
Yeah.
it's like Gimli and Legolas. That's still only
yeah. But a little more like because it's a villain and a hero, not 2 heroes that are friends. But
exactly.
Also, one smaller thing, I am not doing the Lizard Kang that showed up to fight the Young Avengers and had a card that said, "This is my first day. Please take it easy on me."
Oh, okay.
Did you not know that?
I think I vaguely remember hearing about this. I think I heard it as a joke.
In
like
the
a
Kang
variant.
Dynasty, there was a Lizard Kang, and he had like a card that he like was like his business card, and he was like, "Please take it easy on me. It's my first day of conquering." And then the Avengers are like, "No, we got to take it easy on him, guys," and they fight him, and it's like, it feels very they're not taking it seriously, and I'm so happy that on a certain level,
Can you imagine if Ebony Maw handed them a card saying, "It's my first day as a child of Thanos. Please take it easy on me"?
I think I would have walked out of the theater if they did that.
I think as we start like getting to the end here, speaking of the Young Avengers, I do think that's one of the big problems with the MCU as of late. I think one of the big problems is that they have multiple story threads going on at once that could be their own saga, but aren't, and so it feels like we're never going to be fully satisfied with them. Like, for example, the Midnight Suns thing. You could easily do a whole supernatural saga in the MCU with characters like Blade, Moon Knight, Agatha. You could throw in some mystic characters like Iron Fist, or maybe even Dr. Voodoo's another
Minoru.
one. There's a lot of characters they could throw in for Ghost Rider, obviously.
Yeah.
But because the problem is not like the supernatural characters like taking up space. The problem is so much else is taking up space around them. It's not just the new teams of Avengers. It's also it's the teams of Avengers. Oh, but then it's also and then the Fantastic Four. Okay. But then it's also, the Young Avengers are doing this thing over here. And then maybe we want to do the Champions because Kamala Khan is one. We've talked about bringing in Nova for years. There's no way we're not doing Miles at some point. And then, but also we want to do these supernatural grounded characters, and we want to do these weird cosmic ones. And we're going in too many directions at once. And I think that works for like a TV show. But for a cinematic universe with movies that take 2 years to make at minimum, it's just it's too many threads at once to solve in one thing. Unless you have a lot pre-established, you can't do the same formula for everything at once that deserves a saga. And I think it's just becoming too much to keep track of for some people. It's not that there's no interconnectivity, is that it feels too sparse because it's multiple sagas happening at once, and they can't all converge the same way. I think.
And then with too much happening, you only see these characters once every 5 years. I think I did was you have the greater threat of the multiversal saga, and then on the side I had street level stuff. Like notice how every year I had one street level thing, especially in more so in Phase 6. I had Spider-Man and then Daredevil. And then Daredevil Born Again Season 1 and Season 3. And then before that, I had Moon Knight. And then Moon Knight again. Like, I always had something small on the side for street level content. But that was it. It was the street level was the subplot. So maybe for phases 7 through 9, focus on the X-Men as the mutant saga. And then on the side, do the Midnight Suns. Or the Young Avengers.
But
it should be one.
Yeah. That seems
to be
what they're
one
doing
thing.
With
do not do all three. Do either the X-Men or the Midnight Suns. The X-Men or the Young Avengers. It should not be all three. And then also what they're going to try and do is they're going to want to do another Doctor Strange, another Fantastic Four. Like it's going to be too much.
Right. And as much as I'd like certain trilogies and stuff to be completed and certain characters to get more movies, I do agree that it's just it's too much to follow at once. And it seems like that might be what they're going for with the mutant saga, or because what we have announced right now, we have X-Men, obviously, that's going to be all these big characters. We have Black Panther 3, which I'd be very surprised if that movie doesn't involve Storm.
I think we're going to get Storm. What I'm confused with is that I thought that Storm was going to be like her origin was going to be in Black Panther 3 because she hails from Africa,
right?
And also like she's T'Challa's wife in
some of the comics.
Yeah. So they may change it to be T'Challa Jr. as her wife, and that should line up with their age.
T'Challa. It seems like that's why they're aging up T'Challa II, because he and Storm could probably have that relationship, because they already did T'Challa and Nakia in the original trilogy in the Phase 3, since they didn't have the rights to Storm at the time. So they was like, sure, let's reinvent this Malice character into a good person. Why not?
So I think that
Ghost Rider is coming out. I've heard some people suggest maybe Nightcrawler could be in Ghost Rider, since he's kind of a demonic character. I wouldn't be against that. Honestly.
I don't think every MCU movie needs to have like a connection to X-Men going forward. I'm okay with like one of the 3 projects every year having something on the side, like just to like check us, just to ground us a little bit. Because for example, I think it's okay to have just one thing. The issue with the MCU is like 8 of the 9 things had nothing to do with Kang, and then nothing ended up mattering because Kang got booted. So what they basically, whatever 2029 holds, I'm hoping it's one X-Men thing, something tied directly to the X-Men, and then one thing that probably won't have anything to do
Yeah,
with
just
the
something
X-Men.
like two things that really matter, and then one thing that feels optional in comparison to everything else. I think is a smart
Yeah,
approach.
because correct me if I'm wrong, we're not getting any shows in 2028 for Marvel, at least
As
live
far
action.
as
Not
far as
for
I
it.
know, no. There's been a lot of rumors about them
MCU.
being done with the TV shows. What with all the cancellations, there's some
Thank
people who
God for that.
I honestly
Honestly,
wouldn't be surprised if Born Again is the last season of Daredevil, like
I think
season
it
3.
is gonna
I
be. I
think
think it is gonna be the last
I
one.
think they're going to give the Defenders one last hurrah and then just move on,
Kill
which I'm
them all.
okay with. But
No. I don't. But I'm.
I'm personally just pissed because I liked Ironheart and Wonder Man, and I wanted to see more of those shows, and it sucks that they just canceled
I heard
them.
Wonder Man was good.
Wonder Man is fucking great, dude. I rewatched it with my brother, who is like trying to be a voice actor, and he understood a lot more of it than I did. But it's I've seen it 3 times now. It's such good television, and Ironheart. It's not perfect, but I like it, and it ends on a cliffhanger. And I'm just over here.
We're
like,
never gonna get it. We're never gonna.
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
it
When are we
ends
ever
on a
gonna get
very
cool?
important cliffhanger, and I think a really cool turning point for the story.
Unless Mephisto ends up being in a Midnight Suns movie, which they could
Or
do.
Ghost Rider. He's pretty
Right. Yeah. I'm worried it's going to be like Mordo, where we just
let's think for a second,
Yeah.
because with Mephisto, if they do end up doing like let's say like Doctor Strange 3 is like a Midnight Suns like film, where it's like Doctor
That'd be
Strange brings together the Midnight Suns to fight Mephisto, and that's like our Mephisto movie. And Eric Voss can finally die in peace. That sounded really mean, but I meant that as like he can finally be at peace and fade away.
I can finally rest and watch the
Yeah.
sunrise on a happy universe.
I'll admit, I was a little salty when he did that. I was a little salty when they had I forget her name, the one black woman at New Rockstars. I'm blanking on her name.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know her name either.
She did the coverage of the Ironheart show, like she did the week-to-week episode coverage, and then out of nowhere, Eric Voss just pops in with a video, happy that Mephisto is confirmed. I'm like, you weren't even here talking about this show. Like, get out of here, man. I know it's
you
funny
didn't earn this,
but I was a little salty. I'm like, have you even been watching the show? Like.
I'm sure he did, but like that was
Yeah.
his thing, because he always was carrying like the Mephisto is in the MCU thing. But
I unironically think more people know who Mephisto is more than some of the newer characters now because of the memes. Like
it's just so funny because no one can take Mephisto seriously anymore because of the meme. It's like Morbius. Like that character's never gonna be in anything.
Deadass. Like, I think more casual fans know who Mephisto is than Joaquin Torres, and he's literally going to be Falcon in Doomsday. Like,
wait, no, I'm gonna look up right now. So the Midnight Suns, their main cast is, I believe, Werewolf by Night,
Blade,
Blade, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, and Morbius, I believe. So that
changed a few times, yeah. Like
yeah,
the first version was like Blade, Ghost Rider, but not Johnny Blaze. Actually, a different guy named Danny Ketch.
Oh, Magic and Wong. Also.
Sometimes, yeah, they've had some newer members swap in and out. Like not every member's been on the same
You guys
team.
were talking about sneaking in the X-Men, like Nightcrawler. What about Magic in
Magic's
Suns?
the fun
That
one.
could be an X-Men.
I was hesitating to mention Magic because the only Magic in Midnight Suns that I know of was in a video game called Midnight Suns, and I was like, maybe that's the only time they did it, and they just did it because she's popular in the comics, and I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, they had at least one comic run where Magic was on the team. I have personal beef with Magic and Rivals because she always beats the shit out of me whenever I play Devil Dinosaur. But I'm happy with bringing her into the MCU, if nothing else, because it means she's Colossus's sister, so we can get Colossus in there as well.
Yeah, let's do you can bring in Colossus and Magic. Bring back Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought New Mutants was pretty terrible, but I also think Anya Taylor-Joy was pretty bad in that, but she's a good actress. The issue was not her, it was the direction. She can absolutely make a really good Magic if you give her the right direction and a good script. So for a Midnight Suns movie, bring back Mahershala Ali as Blade.
Yeah.
Give him
seriously.
Yeah. maybe Oscar Isaac is Moon Knight if he wants to come back. If he can't, like whatever,
Just
it would be.
cast him at this point. Like if it's okay.
I
We
don't
can-
know. I wouldn't even touch him because I wouldn't be able to like. Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight is like I
Yeah,
get that he's not a
it-
popular character, but I can't imagine anyone else playing Moon Knight.
Yeah, I think at the very least, if they do recast him, just bring in a Jewish actor this time because I know
Yeah.
that was a point of contention with the
Yeah.
character.
We can do. Let's actually let me. Let me. I'm actually literally just gonna pull up like on this screen. We could do. So look, Doctor Strange. That's our first one. He could be the guy that forms it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can do. Obviously Ghost Rider because he is just coming in now.
Yep.
We mentioned Magic before.
Yep.
And bring back Blade. Bring back Mahershala Ali as Blade.
Yeah.
Give him his justice. Moon Knight with a little question mark.
Yeah.
Moon Knight with a pleading hands. Please, Oscar Isaac, come back.
Possibly Werewolf by Night. I get that they want to distance Werewolf by Night with the current MCU. I know that they want that to be its own thing, and I know people praised Werewolf by Night as being just its own little corner of Marvel.
Right.
But I'm okay if he wants to join up for like a smaller adventure.
Yeah.
Also, Man Thing.
Yes,
can also be
I was
there too.
I was wondering about that.
And Elsa Bloodstone.
Yes.
Yeah. If it was if it wasn't too much, a part of me, because there is another I don't know if he's been on the Midnight Suns, but there's another character adjacent to kind of that, you know, the magic world and the demonic side of things. There's the character Brother Voodoo or Dr. Voodoo, Jericho Drum.
I'm looking him up too.
He's tied to Doctor Strange a lot. So, and he in the there's a newer comic series called Strange Academy where a bunch of the magic people like Brother Voodoo, Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Magic become teachers to a bunch of just random magic kids that are in the Marvel comics and don't really have anywhere to be. One of them is Dormammu's kid named Doyle Dormammu, and he's one of my favorite like newer comic characters. He's such a silly little guy. So if possible, it'd be cool to introduce Brother Voodoo and Doctor Strange 3, but or even Doctor Strange 2. He could fight Midnight somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brother Voodoo in general is just a tricky character because of like, you know, voodoo has so many misrepresentations as is with dark magic and zombies and such, but that could be a cool character to like break away from some of that. I don't know. It's
you can so that's like 8 characters. Maybe narrow it down to 6 just so it's not too cluttered.
Bring Morbius in.
Yeah. So I could see, I mean, Moon Knight is probably the first one that wouldn't be there because Oscar Isaac just probably wouldn't come back. Then again, like, I think that maybe he has eased up a bit because he said that if Disney does not chafe up with their with their fascists, like, suck-upping, and this was before Jimmy Kimmel was brought back on. But he has since been reinstated. He's all good. So maybe Oscar Isaac could be like, okay, but I
really think it just depends on, because if this would release in, because if Doctor Strange, I know we're on like the 2028 page, but yeah, if this was in 2027, I feel like Disney would still be kissing up.
This would be like, I'm talking like, I only am using this because there's no space. This could be like, not even what I'm doing. Like, they can just do this now, like, if they want to make a Midnight Suns movie. I'm not even talking about what I would do. I'm just saying what they could do. Like, this is what they could do. Like, Magic, completely possible. Blade, if they're actually nice to Mahershala Ali, but I don't even think he would want to come back. Because I think he's just been so frustrated. These are the only... These are the only 2 ones that are guaranteed for me, Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange, because they are firmly established now.
I'd be surprised if Magic isn't in like one of the early projects, because the video games have given her such a popularity boost between Rivals and now not only the Midnight Suns game, but also Tokon Fighting Souls, which just came out. Like, Magic is having I'm sure there's going to be some downside to it. I've already seen a video in my recommendations about like they're missing the point of magic with some of the stuff they've done recently, but she's a popular character and people like her. So I'd be very surprised if she wasn't on a Midnight Suns team.
Yeah. I can see them maybe like these two are up in the air, but maybe for a future project if they want to come back. But
right.
I think this would be a good because if you like obviously when you're establishing 6 characters, these two we already know them. Magic would be a new character, and these 3 would come packaged together. So you can introduce them all at once. Just say this is Werewolf by Night. This is his girlfriend Elsa. I don't actually know if they're dating. I'm just making stuff up. And this is our boy man thing. Like these 3 would be introduced together. It would be so easy. Magic would have to be the new person, and then Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange can just be working together. So like I think Blade and Moon Knight would overcomplicate things. Have them wait for now. They're like the least likely ones. But
true.
It's unfortunate.
Nando V Movies had a cool Midnight Suns pitch, and that's not really relevant. I'm just bringing it up because it's like, Marvel could totally do this if they want to. They just got to have the right elbow grease and thought process. But I like this overall. I like how it really is focusing on like quality over quantity. But I also like how, and what I like about this is that even though there's not a 100% clear trinity, there's still like you're still seeing these characters within close proximity to each other. Yes. So like because even like the phase 3 did that. So we saw the Guardians in 2014. Then we saw them again in 2017, 3-year gap, but not terrible. And then, we had Thanos in Guardians, and then he had a brief cameo in 2015. So not like too disconnected. Then, of course, 2018, 2019, Guardians were still there. 2021, holiday special 2 years later. Honestly, the Guardians have probably fared best in terms of timing and spacing things out. And then, even Black Panther, like he showed up in Civil War and then took 1 year off, but then was back for 2018 and 2019. So, and then Doctor Strange, of course, 2016. He was, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is everywhere. I really like how many different times he shows up just for a little bit.
Right.
It's fun to see him so much.
He was probably the most consistent character. He was in a movie every year in phase 3 because 2016 was his origin. Ragnarok cameo in 2017, and then both Avengers films back to back, 2018, 2019. Yeah,
and then if you bring out the COVID years, he was in 2021 and 2022.
That's true. Yeah. So probably one of the most consistent heroes.
And then he decided to go get he decided to go hang out with Clea and then just go to the realm of not being in any movies anymore.
Right. And went to the dark dimension for whatever reason, like that. Totally not confusing. I don't know how that works.
That is still the funniest post-credit scene ever because it's just, we're going to the dark dimension. You ready? Okay.
I'll go with you. And then nothing happened.
I remember watching that in the theater for the first time going, wait, she's like, an incursion had happened. I'm like, what? They're like, you ready? I'm like, what? And then he has a third eye and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, it's over?
I also still have so many mixed opinions on that stupid effect that she does with her energy dagger. Like, okay, the idea of her cutting through reality to another dimension sounds really cool. Like making a cut and it's a dimensional doorway. Something about the CGI just still doesn't look right to me. It still feels too light and wavy. I don't know why the visual of that scene gets under my skin sometimes, but
I was more focused on the
context is funny too because it's so funny too because Multiverse of Madness ends on like the stinger of Strange getting the third eye from the Darkhold out in public, and it's like, oh shit, is he gonna be okay? And then you have the credit scene, he's like, just going back to my walk. Like, what happened?
He's walking on the street, he's literally just he's just chilling.
It's so poorly done,
yet it still has a higher chance of being paid off than Eros in Eternals.
Yeah.
I will say, even as somebody who likes Eternals, I love Patton Oswalt. Happy he got to be Pip the Troll or whatever, but Eros is still, I think, just too random of a character to introduce. I don't mind having Star Fox in the MCU, and I know he's got some fun stuff in the comics, but he's one of those characters where I'm like, that's the least of my priorities. If I'm
I
doing
think every MCU post-credit scene since Endgame that wasn't a joke has aged horribly. Like
most of them, yeah. Like I think some of the only ones that have held up well are like well, okay, Black Widow had the lead into Hawkeye.
Black Widow led into Hawkeye, Shang-Chi still, both of them actually, because it's so funny because like
Right.
Wong says they have the rings called out to someone and then they don't say who, and apparently the people who made the movie said, oh yeah, we also had no idea what it meant.
Oh, come on!
They said when they made that post-credit scene, they did not have a plan for who the rings were calling out to. So
There's,
that
like,
post-credit scene has literally no purpose.
Literally off the top of my head. Okay, option 1, it's Kang, and this is tied to the multiverse saga.
Literally, the easiest thing ever.
Option 2, it's Doom somehow if we pivot. You know, that bugs me even more now, because get this. In the comics, the 10 rings are, like, you know, they're finger rings in this case. But in the movies, you know, they're these big Hungar Kung Fu rings. And you think, well, that's pretty big for rings. Here's the theory. They're not human rings. They're dragon rings. Why can't you say the rings are from Makluan, the dragon planet home to Iron Man villain Fin Fan Foom? Like, why? And then you set up the sequel is these hyper-intelligent dragons. Like, why do you have one of our powerful weapons? That can tie into other worlds and the cosmos and maybe Captain Marvel since she was in the Shang-Chi credit scene. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't know who was calling out to the rings? Like, oh, we just introduced that. We had no idea.
None of them had plans either. Like, No Way Home, the symbiote...
They really just don't know what to do with the 10 rings in that movie. Like, they set them up as like this secret, yet another secret organization that's been pulling the strings on everything.
Yeah.
Let's just forget about all the stuff in phases 1 or 2 where they were trying to get high-tech weapons. Like, people didn't like Iron Man 3, so we got to disregard all that. It's like
the Eternals obviously had no
clear direction.
No Way Home. The
symbiote. No Way Home was just a multi. Oh, the Venom credit tease.
Yeah, the Venom symbiote in the credits, which I honestly didn't like it anyway. The thing that I don't like about No Way Home is that now all of these really important Spider-Man villains don't have a 616 variation. They are they've been spent by the movie, and I was worried that Venom was also gonna be the same way, where it's like, oh, now the symbiote's not even from this universe; it's from the Sony universe. But they didn't follow up on it, so they may do something different with the symbiote in the future.
Yeah, it's just so.
There's also
what are
Hercules. Hercules is literally we're never going to see that
Brett
character.
Yeah, from Love and Thunder.
Looked great. Never going to see him again.
Wakanda Forever actually has a really good post-credit scene. So does Guardians. Well, but then they said that Star-Lord will return, but we haven't seen him.
Yeah. He might be in Vision Quest. Yeah, if that one concept art is official that leaked of like him and Vision chilling on a couch, maybe.
I just don't want to see
Star-Lord will return. Vision is chilling with him. They live in the same neighborhood and they don't do anything important.
I don't want to see Chris Pratt again. I just don't want to see Star-Lord again. The Star-Lord will return came off as a threat to me, saying Star-Lord will return.
I was actually confused when I saw that. Guardians 3 is probably my favorite MCU movie.
Me too.
I was confused when I saw that. I was like, "Is he really? Is he? Like, he looks pretty happy. He found his dad."
And I will say as well, completely like unrelated. I know you're not a fan, Joe, but I am excited for Vision Quest, so I can report on that one for you.
I'm not excited for it. I just like don't know what's going on. I think that I'm not gonna watch it because I haven't watched literally any of the shows, but I just don't like Ultron. I think my hatred for MCU Ultron is over. I
was wondering about that because you made that Family Guy meme on Instagram, and you specified James Spader specifically. I was like, oh no, is he problematic or something? But okay.
I have no issue with
Joe
James
doesn't
Spader.
like Ultron.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like Ultron's portrayal either, so I'm in the same boat. But I also think it's something that they could redeem. Yeah, I don't have
at the
any
very
set
least-
expectations for
At
it.
the very least, I'm happy we're getting follow-up on, because Agatha, I'm not going to say too much about it, but like Agatha had an ending that set up a direction for some of its characters, and we're at least getting some payoff to that. That's nice. Hope Ironheart gets some of that after that cliffhanger. That really, like, even if Ironheart just gets one more season and then canceled, I'm fine with that. It's just the fact that it's a big cliffhanger tied to Mephisto, and I'm just like, why would you end this show that you're probably going to cancel anyway because you announced it thinking this character would be big, even though she wasn't for a lot of people? It feels like they just set up Ironheart to fail. Like, you have this show with a cliffhanger and then you don't continue it because, people don't like Ironheart. Okay, but you have an unfinished story. Congratulations. How unsatisfying. It's
bruh. They and then I don't know. Before we go, I want to ask you guys a question for the MCU going forward for the next saga of like 7 through 9. For the overarching villain, who would you like that overarching villain to be?
That's a super good question. I don't know.
Matias, you go first. I want to hear what you have to say.
I have no idea. They have used the big names, I feel like, or they're gonna use the big names. Doctor Doom is gonna be a solved problem by the end of Secret Wars, I imagine.
Yeah, we got 4. We got Kang. We never got to use, but we
Galactus,
used him.
Thanos, and Doom.
The big 4. Yeah, so they're done.
Big 4.
And in two sagas, we're done with 4 of them.
I think so. If it's the mutant saga, right? I think the easy answer is Apocalypse. Like, build up to him for phase 3, because Oscar. That's another role with Oscar Isaac where people are split on it. Because like X-Men Apocalypse, it was just too rushed. It tried to be a first class movie, but it had essentially one of their Thanoses, like one of their most powerful villains. And I have a soft spot for X-Men Apocalypse, but it is a messy movie. So I think, and say what you will about Oscar Isaac's portrayal, it just didn't look like the character. So I imagine they'll do something akin more to what you expect of Apocalypse, just massive CGI, bizarre, unique creature or deity or mutant. Sorry, and I think that's an easy choice. I don't want to say Bastion because we just did that with X-Men 97, and they did that so well.
I like Bastion. Bastion's cool.
And then I guess some of the because Mr. Sinister's the first villain. He's tied to Apocalypse, so that's a way to set him up. I'm still new to a lot of X-Men concepts, so I don't really know some of the other. I watched Nando V Movies, who's a big X-Men fan, so I know some names, but I don't know if any of them would be like big, good overarching. Like, I know Nimrod is a Sentinel from the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nimrod if we're doing an X-Men saga.
If we do Days of Future
Nimrod is also tied to Bastion,
right? And then there's also
the Sentinel program.
There's other more obscure villains like John Sublime, the Living Bacteria, or like I honestly want to know what the MCU could do with the Shi'ar, because they're such a weird corner of X-Men. I only really learned about them through 97. It's just like, oh yeah, the second largest empire in Marvel Comics, a bunch of kind of vaguely bird-themed people. We still haven't even seen them, even though they fight the Kree and they have like a million world empire or something. Yeah. So but yeah, I'm going with Apocalypse. I think Apocalypse as an overarching theme, easy choice. Complex.
You guys want to, cool. Nick, before we say what I want, what would you want?
I don't know enough about the X-Men to assume it would be anything other than Apocalypse, so...
Just say Phoenix Force.
You guys want to know what I think they should do?
I don't need to do it again.
I want the overarching villain of presumably the Mutant Saga to be Mankind.
Fair, yeah.
I want there to be no specific threat, just the concept of bigotry and racism. To have the X-Men fighting that, which could essentially snowball into a version of the Sentinels. But I want just the concept of bigotry to be something the X-Men have to fight. And then on the side, you could do Midnight Suns with Mephisto. But I think having Mephisto be handled the way Galactus was, where he's a threat but in one movie, that could be cool. But I don't considering that we're not attaching him to Doctor Doom at all, I think they kind of like missed the mark with using Mephisto. So it's like, what's the point? So
Right, yeah.
maybe we can have just the X-Men fighting off their threats of Mr. Sinister and Magneto here and there and his Brotherhood of Mutants, but
Yeah.
the overarching threat would be bigotry.
I mean,
I think
yeah.
that would be so cool to have the first overarching threat be a concept and not a physical force. I would love that, especially in the current climate of humanity right now. I think that would be so cool if they did that.
And they've done great setup for that recently with Damage Control via
Yes.
not even just No Way Home with all the stuff there, but even like Miss Marvel showed Damage Control evolving into more of a threat, and then Wonder Man especially. Damage Control is the main antagonist of the series. And you know, Wonder Man's a very low key story. It's very personal, and a lot of the
Loki's
drama.
in it.
Sorry, what?
No, because
good joke. But yeah, it's so I think they have good setup for all the mutant stuff and making the human groups the most consistent threat. So yeah, you could have villains like even if you need a face, you can choose a villain like William Stryker or what are some of the I watch Nando all the time, so I should know.
Bolivar Trask,
Henry
Gyrick.
Senator Kelly, if he swings more to the villain side.
Yeah.
There's got to be some other human X-Men villains as well. I hope we see more of the Hand, because they have ties to Wolverine and stuff, so that could be kind of cool. I still think it's really weird. I like the Hand in Brand New Day, but I love how they are just the Hand visually, and they're nothing like the comics. They're like they went from, you know, they just crashed and burned in the Netflix shows. So when we see them again, it's not even like remnants trying to rebuild and get revenge for their predecessors. It's just, a bunch of superpowered ninja street kids. I'm like, I honestly kind of love that more than what the Netflix shows did. And that says a lot.
That's really funny.
I remember I was talking with my boy Ross over at MGF Customs. We were talking about actually Mando. We were talking about Sigourney. He's like, Joe, did you watch The Defenders with Sigourney? And he was like, dude, it's so funny because she's like the head of the Hand, and then it's like a mystery, and they build up and they show Sigourney, and it's like the Hand is like based on like criminal organizations in Asia, and it's like, girl, you're the whitest person ever.
That always sat wrong with me. Their version of the Hand was like it's led by these 5 immortals rejected from Kunlun. And I'm like, okay, Madame Gao makes sense. Chinese Heaven City, Chinese actress. But then you had Matsuo, who's Japanese, or not Matsuo. There was like some other Japanese guy in the main 5 members. But then you have, Sigourney Weaver, who's a white woman. And then Sowande, who's just this African criminal warlord or something. And it's like, how, like, not to sound like one of those, there shouldn't be any black people in the Odyssey type of people, but like, seriously, how did some African crime lord get to just one of the cities of heaven? And
if you're criticizing the white lady too, it's very clearly an issue of the culture. But
yeah, for sure.
It's so funny that like.
It's so funny, too, because the animated series Eyes of Wakanda kind of does something similar, but infinitely better. There's an episode about a Wakandan agent who goes to Kunlun to get a piece of vibranium and tries to blend in as somebody who crashed, got stuck there and falls for one of the people in Kunlun. But then when he takes the vibranium piece and goes back to Wakanda, the person he formed a connection with, oh shit, she's the Iron Fist, and she snuck back to Wakanda to get back the things stolen from her people. And it's,
oh my god,
it's so funny how the one 20-minute episode of a now unfortunately canceled Wakanda cartoon did this better than like all these Netflix shows with the build up.
Oh my god. I'm probably gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys for joining up with me.
Thanks for letting me in last minute.
yeah, no problem. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Have a great night.
Yeah, let me know if you want to do another one of these, like fleshing out this concept more, trying stuff. This has been very fun. I'd like to do more of it.
It was awesome.
Maybe I'll be less tired.
Take care.
Bye, guys.